a whole lot of pain. Got so much struggle in a whole lot of rain. I don't know why, baby, why I won't leave. God knows I love you. Why can't you see? My heart is crying.
Too much, I can't do this shit with you. I put all you above and me. It was killing me to love on you. I put all this on my life. If I could, wouldn't do it twice. Not even for dollar signs. I don't play around with your kind. We've been through too much, but I don't speak on that. So much pain, but I don't trip on that. We knew it was over, but you got a kick out of seeing my tears on your shoulder. How? Look, why don't you leave? Don't you leave? Why don't you leave?
Something is just
we are echoing.
on. We are echoing because God wants you to hear us twice.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, don't do it. We are going to figure this out.
What is going on?
Well, we're not. We might do the whole show like this.
Yo, and
all right, that's better. That's no.
At the top of the mic.
We are trying.
Listen, you already know.
Yes, God.
It's that, Pam. Oh, all right, I think we have it.
Oh, okay, this right here.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, JB. That's it.
There we go.
Hi, everyone.
What's going on with y'all? My move music ain't on.
you.
My move music ain't happening right now.
That's all right.
Yes.
Listen.
See, Pam's are on the 1 and 2 today.
Yo, listen, when you got me on the 1 and 2s, you never know what you're going to get. Something right now is going on with my music. My move music ain't coming out. It comes out when I take it out of the thing. So what I probably need to do is stop. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Pam's World. We live, right? Did you see the new video in your face?
All Did you guys see
Come
why?
Come on. Why? It's
what
up in the building.
Do you think about why? Put your comment in. Do
why?
you love it?
Why?
Do you not love it? Do you love it? Do you like it a lot?
Yeah.
I absolutely.
And tell us why you love it. Because we know you're going to love it.
Oh, well, let Pam do her intros and then we can talk.
Yes. Yeah. What's going on? We're going to get our move music up in a minute. But I just want to say welcome to Pam's World to all those. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. welcome, welcome. Listen, a lot of people might want to know, well, you know, Pam, she lived for the Lord. Now, is this a gospel show? Nah, not at all. You're going to get what you get here, but you definitely going to get the Lord. If not for nothing else, you're going to definitely know at the end of the day that everything that we stand upon, everything that our life is built upon, and we standing on a solid foundation of Jesus Christ. So yes, you are going to get Christ. So, but listen, I say you're going to get a whole lot more too, because we got a lot of things that we want to talk about. Pam's thoughts, Pam's views. Pam is not always right, but Pam like to talk about what's going on. You know what I mean?
It's all right.
Nah, you know what? I've gotten a lot better, so I don't receive that. See, a long time ago I would have received that, but I can't. I'm not embracing that because I don't think I'm right all the time no more. Not all the time no more. Thank God for that. I see Joyce's face out my peripheral, so it's okay though. Yes. Huh?
Mute your channels.
I'm mute my
Your channels.
Okay.
All of them?
Oh, all of them
Okay.
at the end. Okay.
Okay.
Is that better?
Okay, we're going to see what
Can
we're going
you
to
hear
do.
it?
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Pat. I'm going to pull this up right now. But, y'all, I thank y'all for tuning in every Sunday. And, of course, let me introduce on my left, we got D, better
Hi,
known
everybody.
as Pastor Dee.
Hello,
yes,
everyone.
And to the right of me, I got J to the B on Spidors.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. Welcome. So, listen, I'm going to do something a little different. Since we said we talked about the Y record. Do I want to slide there right now?
I love
I want to slide. I want to slide to the Y record just really, really fast and talk about the Y. I want to find out what y'all think.
And I want to know why you wrote Y.
Okay, you want to know why.
Tell us why.
I wrote.
Tell us why you wrote Y. Is it a true
Okay, there we go.
story?
Thank you, Miss Pat. Yes.
Is it from your heart? Is it a biographical
I
song?
love it.
Yes. You know what?
I love this song.
The Y record. Actually, this song Y is definitely something that is true. It's a true story about my life. If not for nothing, I got an EP coming out. Thank God for it, and it's called Pamela. So, with that being said, it's truly Pamela. I'm not coming with nothing fake. Everything that you're gonna hear, yes, is about my life. I was in a relationship, well, I'll say marriage, to where it was just like a back and forth thing, to where it was just like I wanted out, and I wanted to love him at the same time too. So I had my moment of wanting to get out of the relationship, wanting to be out of the relationship, but my heart kept crying. Why? Because I couldn't get out, as much as, regardless of how I was treated towards the beginning, in and the middle. It definitely was something that my heart was doing. My heart cried. You know, no dig on him at all. It's just pretty much just being truthful.
Mm-hmm.
So why?
And now
why won't you leave?
one of the
Just go and leave
that
me.
part when you said why won't you leave? Just go and leave me. You were asking him. You wanted him to leave you because you couldn't leave him.
Because I couldn't leave him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when you. That's
why
when you know
couldn't
that
you
it's bad.
leave him?
Because of the fact that it was just like I was in too deep. For one, marriage is something that I look at is something that is so sacred to God, and regardless of how I felt like I was being treated at the moment, and like I said, I take full responsibility of my actions thereof. But just how I felt in the relationship, it was just like I felt like I couldn't go anywhere, because I was like, I never wanted to be unmarried, so I got to make this thing work. But my heart was crying, why won't you leave? Why won't you leave? Why won't you leave? And listen, with all of that being said, you look at my hand, he finally left. And so, you know, at the time when he did, it wasn't smiles like that. I was hurt, you know what I mean? But I can look today and say, I thank God that my hand is free from, not only my hand, but my life is free.
That hand.
Oh, see, that's why you know it was a wrong marriage. God dog it. That's how you know that it was wrong. God dog it. Look, I'm on the wrong hand. Jesus. Look, it was a ring finger, and I picked it up. So listen, that's how you know that it was wrong. Jesus. I was real. I was on it. I was on it. Yeah.
Ring.
Yes.
It wasn't supposed to be
It
on
was
that.
supposed to be on his hand.
Yes.
But see, that's how you know that it wasn't supposed to be. But, you know, shout out to the things that will truly make you right and cause you to have a hit record.
What do you guys think about the
glory.
video and the song? What do you guys think about the video and the song?
Yeah.
I like this album. I like the album. I heard the whole album,
Right.
and I like the album because it's just good music. It's music that I would be able to listen to. Like
Right.
it doesn't
Burn your
with
ears
some other
off.
things off. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's clean, and this is just like a track. Why won't you leave me? Just go and leave.
Yeah.
I love this track. I love I love the track. When I
Yes.
first heard the album, I was like, "Pam, this is it." This
Yeah,
is the
because I
song.
wasn't even gonna keep it for
I
myself. I was gonna give it
love-
to Coco and
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Don't you give this song away?"
Fantasia.
I was like,
Wow.
no,
I
I
wasn't even gonna keep it
love
for me.
this song. And I
Yeah.
love the track.
what made
Big
me
shout
keep
out
it.
to Kenny Black. I
Yep.
love this
KB.
song.
Yep. Shout out to Kenny Black.
I love
he
the
killed,
song.
He killed the track.
But I
He
think
did.
the song is crazy. The beat is crazy. I think it's like a good, it's a banger type song. But I like the fact, she was crying out on the record because I love the why,
Yeah.
oh,
That's some heart crying.
I love that.
Yo,
I love the song.
that's what's up. That's what's up.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Have any of you felt this way? Have any of you felt this way? Like, why
Yes.
won't you leave? Like, I'd rather
Yeah.
you leave than
Then stay.
Then-
Come on.
yeah, or because you can't leave. You know what I mean?
What?
But I think a lot of times in relationships, some people don't want to leave because they don't want to be the bad guy. Like, you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, they try to make you leave. Or sometimes it's a situation like they're trying to get you to leave. And I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about that, but it's almost like with, what is it, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan
Come on, Kiki.
Thompson. It was almost like people were saying, Khloe, what else does he have to do? Like, he doesn't want to be in that situation. And people made memes like him saying, what else do I have to do to make you leave? Because he's letting you know that obviously I don't want to be in this.
Right. You know what? I was just just honestly, you know how sometimes somebody treating you real wrong, treating you real bad. It's just like, and you know that you shouldn't be in the relationship, but because you don't want to be by yourself, sometimes you stay too.
No.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
being
some
by
people do.
yourself
Some
with
people
peace
do.
is better than being
No,
in chaos.
no,
with
I'm saying
I'm
that-
just made my opinion. I know what you said. I
Yes,
just
we
said
get
my
what you're
opinion
saying.
is
You just have
with
the
y'all.
opposite.
It's
opinion.
no, you say what you want to say. Everybody, we get to say what we want to say. I know we in your world, right? But I would say I've found that it's better to be by yourself in peace than to be in something that's chaotic or just so stressful where you're in a situation with a person, but you feel like you're alone anyway.
Absolutely,
You know what I
but
mean?
I've also done the opposite of that now. You know what I mean? I'm free now, thank God. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I have been a partaker of that. You know what I mean? I have been the one that stayed because you didn't want to be by yourself, regardless of the bad moments or the moments that was just terrible or whatever. I have been one of those
Yeah.
people.
Have you
I-
ever-
I get
I've
trying to
lived
work
that.
on your
But
marriage. I
have-
get that part, but not just.
No, I'm not talking about the marriage.
No,
part.
I
I'm
know.
talking about even before that. You know what I mean? Before marriage
but
even
did
was
you ever
a
did you ever
part
stop
of it.
to think? Okay, I'm not married, so the marriage piece is a piece that I can
Mm-hmm.
never really 100% speak to. I do believe in vows.
The
I do
covenant,
believe in
yeah.
the covenant, and so I do believe there's a little bit more that you may go through
Yeah.
before you walk away, or before you get divorced, or before you do those things. But in regular relationships and things of that nature, I always struggle to understand why people want to stay just so they're not alone.
Cause you broken, man. Listen, when you broken, you broken. When you
But-
broken, it is what it is.
But that's not the case for
To
everybody.
be fixed.
Some people don't realize, they don't identify as being broken.
But some
But
people
some
might-
people don't know that they're broken.
This
it's a
is
difference.
true. Some people don't. Yeah, but some, like you said, okay, some people may not know that they're broken, but some people rather be with a person, any person, just to say that they're with someone. You ever watch movies and they say, "Oh, another wedding," and I'm showing up, or sometimes people hire someone or tell someone that, okay, you're going to be my boyfriend for this weekend because I'm tired of my family saying, oh, you're not with someone when you're going to get married. So there are the dynamics. Some people may be in a relationship because their family is expecting them to, or when your age, when am I finally going to be with somebody? I'm getting older, so I'll be in a situation, not because I don't want to be by myself, but I'm getting older. I should be married by now, so they have an expectation of society or their family. So I would agree with Joyce that everyone may not be broken, but I also can see what you're saying, because if that is your thought process, there's something that's not whole within you. There is something that's not whole.
But
within
also
you.
too, some people are with people, but they're not. Okay, there are people who have husbands that still do whatever they want. There are people who have wives that still do whatever they want. Yes, they're with someone, but they're not allowing that person, in some cases, to dictate their life. I don't know how to explain what I'm saying, but the bottom line, I said, I just don't understand why people stay. And I get that if you're broken, I still believe you should not be in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Because when you're broken, you need to work on you and be whole
So
first.
people don't know.
But people, and that's
Some people don't know they're broken. Some people don't
yes,
realize
they
it.
don't.
I
don't get it.
get that, but I'm only speaking about me. Like Joyce, find it hard to understand why people stay in relationships when they know they are being abused. Because I understand
When they grow up.
but when they don't,
again,
when they're not aware that they're being abused, or they think this is the normal thing, and
Yeah.
some people think this is love.
This
That's
is love.
different. But I'm talking about the people who are in a relationship and they know they're being abused. Like Khloe Kardashian, she knows she's being played out. She's being played out on a public stage.
But how much does she love herself? Is it like, you know what? This is
Yes, but
maybe she wants to be because every other sister is with somebody booed up.
you mentioned.
yes,
Go ahead.
all that's true, right? But she's being played out at a level that's insane.
Okay.
But also too, their family thrives off of nonsense. So she might, in some level, her comeback, her story, maybe more people want to do a TV show with her. Remember after the stuff that went on with Lamar Odom,
she had the revenge.
she had the
show.
revenge body, and she got a show, and she got in shape, and she got cute, and then she started dating Harden.
Who?
But isn't that
Harden?
revenge?
Please,
Okay,
you
guys,
but my
I
thing is
used
this:
to
is
rock
that revenge body? That to me, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Like sometimes you got to go into a place where you so hurt, you got to whatever it is that's going to help you to get out of it in a good way.
But
You know what I
is
mean?
that
Because
really a
sometimes
good
we
way?
don't. Sometimes we don't know the escape. I'm not saying that it's the best way, but if that's the way that sometimes when people don't know how to, first and foremost, to go to God, that's the only way that's going to truly help any person, because it's the only
Heal
thing
you.
that can last. Yeah, exactly, to heal. But there are different ways that people, when they don't know that God is the ultimate source to pull you out of stuff,
they cope?
is that you exactly, and you cope in different people cope in different ways. Some people go in with the bottle,
But-
some people go into working out. You know what? I'm gonna make myself be a better me, and that's you're trying to find. To me, sometimes that just shows a cry of that you're still trying to find that place of where you love yourself. Like you said, Pastor, you mentioned her sisters in them. You know what I mean? Her sisters in them.
Sisters and them been played out too.
No, I'm saying, but like being booed. She talked about being booed up with
But they've
somebody.
been played out too.
I'm not saying that they haven't, but what it is that when you don't know about that part of that you're broken, when that's the part that's like looming around like the elephant in the room, but at the end of the day you claim that it's not you. Sometimes we live in this false what's the word that I'm thinking? You live in this false reality. Thank you, Lord. You have this false reality that I am okay, and you're not okay. You're not okay. That was the same thing with myself. I could tell myself for years that, Pam, you okay, Pastor, and I thank God for just friends. You know what I mean? I really, really do, because at the end of the day, Pastor she would say to me, Pam, you always say that you're okay, and you're not. You're not okay with the way people treat you. You're not okay with this and that. And the only thing that you always do, you shrug it off because of the fact that me being a Christian woman, you shrug it off and be like, oh, I'm okay. She said, you need to go to God and tell him, because he already know how you feel. So you really need to go to him and say such and such and such. You talk to God about the situation. She didn't even say, as if, you come talk to me. No, you go and talk to God, because as your friend, I see this in you.
And because
you know what I mean?
kept coming to me. I mean, and not that way that we can't talk as friends, but you would say you was okay when it happened.
Right.
Then later on that week, she's upset about this. I said, yeah, this is the stuff. You keep saying you're okay, but you're not, because if you were okay, you wouldn't still be talking about it.
But when you have to think about the space that I'm coming from.
Okay.
When I'm saying that I don't understand, I'm coming from a place where I love myself. I'm coming from a place where when I'm on this show and when I speak in general, I say how important it is to love yourself first. How important it is to not be in any relationship until you okay with you. So if you're not okay with you and you're staying in a relationship, that's still, I don't understand it. And all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that people don't do it.
How long did it take you to get to this place?
But I'm not attacking people who are there. What I'm saying is, Pam, before even church, I was at a place where I wasn't beat for people.
Okay, but there was a place where you was broken.
She's saying how long did it
understand?
take you to get
I
to
don't-
that
I don't-
place?
But I can't tell you that. I can't tell you how long, because it's by how long it took me, it's not going to be how long it takes the
No,
next.
I'm not saying that. I'm
She's
just
saying how
to-
long, but you at one point you were in a broken
You
place
was in
at
a
some
broken
stage in
place
your
at
life.
Some place in your life.
I
And
don't think
because-
I was ever at a place
I do.
where
No
I
way,
felt
JB, I
like
don't believe
no,
that.
y'all
Let
missing
her
my
finish.
point. Jesus.
I don't believe that.
I'm done.
No, you're not. Don't.
Yes, I am.
No, we're not doing
Because
that tonight.
I don't even remember what I'm saying.
You were saying,
Every time I start
you were
speaking,
saying, I'm
it's
not
like
at a point. Yes,
I'm
you keep
only
cutting off,
speaking from
but,
me.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm saying you were saying, I don't know how long it took. You said because it may have taken for me may have not be somebody else. But the question was, were you ever at a place where you were broken?
Yes,
And then you started to say
I never
no.
said that I was never at a
But
place where I was
we
broken.
didn't say that. She just said, were you ever at a place where you were broken?
Yes.
That's what she asked.
But I never said I was
But
never
she
at a place
didn't
that I
say
wasn't
that. But she
broken.
didn't say that. She just said, "Were you ever at a place?" And then your answer started to come out sounding
I
like
was
you were
going
going
to make a statement, and I forgot the statement that I was making.
All I'm saying is when
But
you begin to
no,
answer, it sounded like you were going to say,
everybody,
"No,
yes,
I can't
I've been
think."
broken. I've said that on this show before. I said that we're dealing with my son's father. I said that dealing with other people. I said that I had to build me up before I got to the point where I was comfortable with loving me and getting to the point where I am okay if I'm by myself. I'm not looking for anybody to validate me. I'm not looking for anybody to complete me. This is the point that I've always said. So this is not something that I've changed.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. What I'm saying is when Pam asked, how long did it take you to get to that place, right? And I get it. You, like you said, I don't know. But I think the question asked was to say, you're there, you got to that place, but you got to that place from a broken place and got to that place. So what I think she was going to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that maybe some people just didn't get to the place that you are yet.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is that you'll never get to that place ever if you keep filling the place with people. If you keep staying in places where you feel like you need to be someplace.
Yeah.
And that's what my point was making. You're never, ever going to be full and whole and complete if you keep filling it with people. And that's friends, that's men, that's women, that's other vices. You will never be whole until you deal with whatever it is that's your issue. My issue, your issues could be different. So what it may take for me to get right, what it may take for me to get to the point where I'm okay is very different than what it may take for anybody else. Like what broke me may not break the next person.
Yeah.
What broke you, I could laugh at. Maybe because it would never break me, right? Because we're all different. And all I'm saying is that, and this is why I don't understand why people stay in places where they know they're being abused, lied to, cheated on, disrespected, because you will never be great. You will never be whole. You will never be complete while you're filling up these spaces with these stopgap people. And that's also friends. That's not, I'm not just talking about relationships. That's people, period. Because if you're filling voids with people, then you don't have to deal with the holes. You don't have to deal with the issues. You don't have to deal with the root cause of problems, period. And so I'm not saying that it's not an issue. I'm not saying that people don't do it. I'm saying that I don't understand why people do it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because if you love you and if you say you love you, you can't do that.
And some people, I don't think, love themselves yet.
Yeah.
They may not love
agree with
themselves
that.
yet. And this is a real show, and it's real, it's live. It's real, it's live. Let me just address something. It's a real show, it's a live show. And we got to just make sure we get it back together. Yeah. Because I know Joyce is mad at you because you keep cutting off, and then you mad because you want to get your point out, and you think she's not hearing you. So we have to make sure we communicate well and let each other speak their entire thought. And then stop. Don't do that, because I know you, Joyce. Look at me. I know you. I've known you for over 30 years. Don't.
I know her.
Don't make me pull your little elf hat off. I know you. Okay, so that's what we're going to do.
I take it off.
Pam apologized for cutting you off because you. And again, everybody have your say, have your passion. That's great, but you will cut people off, and when you think that they don't agree with you.
It wasn't the reason why
You see how you cut me off though? But do you see how you still cut me off when I didn't finish?
Sometimes I do.
And you still doing it? You just still doing it to me now?
Okay.
All I'm saying.
Welcome to Pam's world, everybody.
I'm
Well,
smiling.
When you
Andre.
get extra passionate, whatever,
Yes,
you
I am
start to
very.
cut people off because you thinking we're not hearing you or we're not agreeing. But let somebody say what they have to say. Listen to them
Okay.
before we are ready to because when you're responding like that, you're not listening. Like it's almost like I don't want to hear what you guys say. I'm going to say what I have to say.
Okay.
So you're cutting me off and you don't even know what I really said because you're just ready to fire back.
Right.
And then now she got to the place where like, you know what? I'm done. It's the passive aggressive part. I'm not saying nothing. I'm good. And so then that shuts down. So Joyce, don't shut down. Joyce, look at me, Francis. We're going to all be happy.
Yes,
We're
we
going to
are.
all. She
Yo,
apologized.
I promise
okay.
you, like I'm really good. You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
know
Like,
you-
It's no step on toes or nothing like that. Like y'all know I respect and love y'all. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I am very, and this is to everybody. I'm very passionate, and when it's like when I feel like I was like, yo, I got something like no, but I'm trying to say something as well too, and it's just like we going back and forth. It's not arguing.
No, I know, but she did let you
talk.
talk first
Right.
and get it all out, and then it was her turn, and
Right.
you did cut her off.
I get it. And that's
all
what
right, because I know when you try to cut me off, I'll
that's
shut
what
down.
and that's
I'll
what
come right back at
apologize
you.
for, you know what I mean? Like, and that's something that I'm working on. I thank God I'm not as bad as I used to because I would shut everybody down. You know what I mean? I'm
You
not
didn't shut me
what
down.
I used. No, not
Because
like
I will come with fire. I start pressing all the
I
buttons.
ain't what I used to be. You know what I mean? I thank God I still am a work in progress. I don't use that as an excuse. I was completely wrong for cutting JB off because God knows that my intent is not to disrespect nor to agitate her in such a way. You know what I mean? And it's just like I thank God I humble myself. I really do because I don't want to make her upset. You know, so praise God for that.
My Lord.
You know, and at the same time too, this this right here is something that it's just like, you know, like I said, I'm very passionate when I talk about things that are very, you know what, when things are very personal to me. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
And it's cool.
so,
Yeah, because you have to live you had to live through your brokenness, and maybe that struck a chord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if she's saying, I don't understand how some people, and you are in the category of some people,
Right.
sometimes we get offended. You know what I'm saying? Because we live that, and so it could be also a defense mechanism because, like, wait, that was me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so
Unknowingly, right?
Unknowingly, we're all growing. We're all still growing, and God willing, in a week, in a year, in 3 years, we should all still be different. So we do have to have patience with one another, compassion, because everybody has, like Joyce said, everybody is different and has different experiences. Because some things, as she said, and I can truly attest to that, can break somebody else down. I'm like, are you kidding me? But you get what I'm saying? Like, but again, I think sometimes because I've been through so much at this point. That's easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Compared to some of the fires I've had to walk through.
Right.
So we have that, but I also still have to have compassion because I'm like, I brush the dust off, keep moving. And for somebody else, they're fragile and they break at the drop of a dime for some.
Yeah,
But and then for
but
others,
also
we're
too,
built different.
At the end of the day, my story shouldn't be your story. We're all unique, as Pastor's trying to say, and we're all unique. So just because I don't think a way or feel a way, doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah.
I've never said that people staying is wrong. I said I don't understand it.
Okay.
I don't understand it because that could not be me.
Okay.
That's all I've ever said. I don't say that when I see someone in a situation that they're stupid, they're dumb, they're retarded. I don't do that.
And I used to do that.
I pray. Oh yeah, she used to do it to me.
I used to I did. I used to do the choice.
Yeah, but also
I would
too,
get so mad at her.
I knew where she was coming from, so it didn't. I stopped telling her everything that was going on.
Yeah, because
I would tell her after I made up my mind what I want to do, because I'd be like, okay, whatever you say, I'm still going to do this. So
yeah, because I'm like,
but also too, I'm comfortable with me. I deal with the consequences of the choices and decisions that I've made. So again, I never said that somebody that's doing it is stupid, retarded. And I never did that. And I pray for them, and I hope that they get to a point where they realize that they're worthy more of more and all that. And I'll talk to them and I'll pray with them and all of those things. So I think you think because I say I don't understand that I'm saying that they're wrong or I'm attacking them, and I'm not. I'm just speaking what
Your truth.
Don't understand, what I don't like, or what I think of for me. Like if somebody's talking crazy, beating on me, there's absolutely no way I'm staying.
Right.
If somebody even raising a voice at me sometime now, I can't deal with that, because also I know where that could go.
Right.
I can't be quiet but so long, and you're not going to keep yelling and screaming at me. What type of relationship is this?
Right.
And I'm not cursing. I'm not defending myself. I'm not doing those things anymore. So that's not the person that God was sent for me. So I'm very comfortable in telling people, like, this is not what I'm about. This is not what I want. And I'm comfortable with walking away. But I'm also very happy if I'm by myself. And I know people really say that and don't mean it.
Yeah.
I mean it. If I never get married, I'm not going to crawl under the rock and buy a bunch of cats. That's not what I'm doing. You get what I mean? And I think when you think I say something that's contrary to you, you think I'm attacking you.
No, it's not.
And I'm not. Okay. I'm not attacking your thought process. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I'm not saying I don't agree with it. I don't even say that I don't see it in other people.
Share this, guys.
You know what it is to me, JB, just so in this transparency, Kelly just said, shout out to Kelly, shout out to everybody. We're going to do our in a minute. But at the end of the day, to be honest, it's not, I don't think that you're attacking me. You know what I mean? It's more or less that I'm saying, I'm sitting here to myself and I'm just like, yo, man, it's and maybe it could just be me. You know what I mean? But I feel like, I'm like, yo, but there's something when I asked about the brokenness, and you was like, it felt like, to me, it sounded like you was like, nah, I haven't been broken. Like I never was broken. And I was like, man, that's when I said, man, I don't believe that. Cause I was like, I was like, nah, I don't believe that. So, but when it was just like, and that to me is that maybe that's just a Pam issue, because Pam has experienced so much.
Everybody has had something,
right? But at the end of the day, it's just like relatable. You know what I mean? It's just like sometimes you look for things to relate to in people. You're not going to find that in everybody. But I really believe that sometimes we as people, we all have certain areas, certain things that we've been through to where we have been broken. And tonight, for me, I guess because like Pastor said, this is a place where what I know that's been so deep in my life, and I have just begun not only to come out of it, but I'm still walking through with so many different things in my own life. That's why I'm very passionate about it. That's why when I hear somebody, when I thought I heard you saying that, no, I wasn't broken before, that's why I was like, man, nah, I can't. I was like, nah, I can't do that.
But you had already done that before I even got to that point. You had already cut me off. You had already kind of done that before I got to that point, because I was trying to explain the point where you cut me off, and I forgot even what I was about to say.
Okay, and then
so it's not an issue. It's just I want to make sure that you're clear, as when I say something, I don't represent every single person in the world. I'm not saying that I am the person that is 100% right all of the time, nor do I want to be right 100% of the time. But my opinion about what I think and what I believe and what I see, it's always right, because it's mine.
Right, and I definitely, and JB, I've come to respect that more and more. You know what I mean? I've come to respect that more and more, because before, in the beginning, we did always have a but. You know what I mean? But at the same time, too, just the way that you said what you said tonight, to me, it didn't have any compassion about those that was broken. I think that's why, for me, it sounded like the compassion wasn't there. Now, the way that you explained it, had I not cut you off, I would have understood it. You know what I mean? More. But I cut you off because it was a thing for me to, and I jumped. You know what I mean? So on my part, I was wrong. You know, so for that, like I said again, like, you know what I mean? And for real, like, I apologize to you, because I'm not trying to offend you. If like, at the end of, you know what I mean, at the end of the day,
I'm not offended.
And I can say that she was.
It's okay.
You know what I mean?
I was upset. Okay, she was upset. Okay,
it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just more and more to me that it's just like, yo, there are things that I'm still learning how to do, and it's just like I have to, and I thank God even now that my trigger points, because what if I was in an interview with somebody and they said something? It's just like Pam going, it's just like that fire that I have is trigger points. So it's just like, even here, being in a safe place with everybody watching, it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just like I have to continuously be very careful with my mouth, and I have to be quick to listen. This is something that God said to me just the other day: be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. So that's something for me, and I get it and I see it. But at the end of the day, I don't want to become fiery to anybody, because I don't mean any harm. It's just places in my life that I still have to allow God to continuously heal, because you know what I mean. He has already started the process. Like I said, I'm not what I used to be, but I thank God that He's not done with me yet, as Steve Harvey would say. Right?
And I think with
That's good.
you feeling like she didn't have any compassion, it was okay. You don't have compassion as to what I went through, and you took it personal.
Okay.
So yeah, this could be a great stepping stone to know that when you're dealing with the public and people, you're going to be asked some questions and some hard questions, okay? And then just the song, talking about the song Why got us here because of why you wrote it, what happened, and all those things. So then now you're a little bit open. And so questions will be asked, but you have to remember, people are not, some people will try to push a trigger point and get that reaction and get your R. Kelly reaction that you just gave to Gail. When somebody
I wasn't. No, I ain't go there. I ain't go there. I ain't go there.
Stuck in the closet. I'm back in the closet. Like, calm down.
Yo, God is good. I thank God. Yeah, y'all already know what it is. I can't even read that. Okay, right there. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, this was good. I thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to Pam's World. All right, y'all. Y'all already know. Those that watch Pam's World, you know we got to always talk about Jesus here because he is truly the reason for the season, the reason for life, the reason why we are able to do what we do and to be in your face. So today I want to ask y'all, did you go to church?
Did you go to church today?
Did you go
Who
to
went
church?
to church?
Did you go to church today? Yeah. You know what? Today I had the opportunity. I was in church today. I had the opportunity to work with the babies, and the lesson that we had today was letting the kids know that they can trust in Jesus always, to do what he say do.
Okay.
And today we came from Colossians chapter 3 verse 17a, and it talked about us being, the whole scripture talked about us doing what Jesus would say to do, and that we are his representatives. We are the representatives for Christ, right? And so I had an opportunity to talk to the babies, and I was just like, how we're supposed to represent Christ. And they was like, what's a representative? I was like, like somebody, I was like, with your mommy and daddy, I said, and when you go to school, like, you are the representation of your family, how you act and all of those things. And so it was really, really good. And they began to talk to me. They said, you got to be, I said, well, how would you represent Christ? They was like, you got to be strong and mighty. Sheila was like, you got to be strong and mighty.
I know that's right.
Malachi was like, you got to be bold. And Kaya was like, you got to be nice. You know how Kaya should, and so they began to just talk to me. And it was just like, they really blessed me today because of the fact of the things that they were saying. And I began to talk to them about how it was a gentleman before, how he disrespected me, and he began to cuss me out, say bad words to me. I said, and he was using curse words. I said, which is wrong. I said, and I was standing there, and I said, and I walked away from him, but I went in my car and I started crying. And Sheila just looked at me, and she was like, is this a true story? And I said, yes. And I said, I went in the car, I started crying. I said, but what I did was that I prayed for him. And Sheila began to tell me, she said, it's a boy at my school that was bullying me. And she is just like, and he hurt me, she said, and I cried. And I said, and I just began to talk to them just about, just being God's representative. And I told her that she was beautiful, that she was wonderful. And I was just like, and what you can do, I said, you could pray for him. I said, I pray that God will help him, that his heart, that he won't be mean anymore and all of that. So it was really, really such a great class with the kids today. I had an amazing time.
And then tell her to be bold and go tell the principal.
Yeah, she told her mommy. She told
her
mommy. Yeah, she did
tell
her
the
mommy.
School officials to know.
And I believe that Aziza went and handled it, but they hurt her feelings, she said, and they made her cry. And I was just like, wow. So it was an amazing class. Like, they were really into it, and it was just like, I'm going in as the teacher to be to look to teach them, and they turn around and they teaching me, so it's just like, I just bless God. It was amazing. It was. So JB, did you go to church
yes
today?
Yes, I did.
All right, talk to me, because I was with these babies today.
It was great because we had a lead in because we went to a deliverance service over Friday and Saturday. So today was just like the icing on the cake. It was kind of putting a lot of what we learned and making it more practical, making it more usable in every day, not more than just deliverance. Start off with the importance of honoring God and stop acting like we don't know who he is. you know, he's not just our friend, he's not just our father, he is God, and we need to reverence him and such.
Jesus.
And so the service just started off with Pastor calling everybody to pray and to reverence him.
The hungry people.
And, well, the hungry
That's what I
people,
call
and you know, everybody
Jesus.
raised their hand, everybody was hungry.
No, everybody didn't raise their
Yeah,
hand.
everybody raised their hand.
Okay.
Everybody didn't get up.
No, there were some people who didn't raise their hand, and that's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. But go ahead.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. And it was like an extension of praise and worship. I felt like Candy today just really tore it
Yes.
off the frame. It just
Yes.
it
She was
flowed
incredible.
so well. And today was her birthday. Happy birthday, Candy!
Happy birthday, lady.
But it just flowed so well, and then right into reverencing him. So I thought that piece was excellent today. And then we went into well, you know, our pastor. She has us do some things, and today she has to bring in bags of garbage.
Jesus.
And no one knew why we was bringing in bags of garbage,
Right.
but we found out. And then, you know, garbage stinks, right?
Yes.
So she was pretty much trying to explain, and she gave a very good visual of when you surround yourself by God's people and God, and when you surround yourself by trash, you tend to take on the characteristics
Yeah,
of the
environment.
company you keep.
Jesus.
And if you're keeping company with people who aren't doing anything or aren't about anything, they're just feeding you garbage, they're feeding you trash, eventually you're going to have the stench of garbage, eventually you're going to speak trash, eventually, you know, you're going to be what you're surrounding yourself by.
Wow.
So she had two people sitting in chairs, and one person was surrounded by garbage and one person was surrounded by God's people and the church and the pastor and
Life.
all that and
Wow.
life. And it was just amazing. And
So
then
good.
you would have thought that was it. But then she just talked about how just because you're in the church don't mean everybody in the church is of God.
Right.
Doesn't mean everybody in the church is God's people.
Right.
So she also spoke about how one of, you know, everybody might not know, but one of the gifts is discerning spirits. And she talked about how that's such an important gift and how it's like vital. It's easy to see someone that's living crazy that they're not of God. But you got people who are acting like the people of God and playing the role of the people of God. It may be a little more difficult to see them. But if you have the gift of discernment, or let me say that, if you're using the gift of discernment, those people are also easy to spot out. But it may take a little bit more
You gotta
effort.
get a little closer.
And you got to get a little bit more. You got to get a little closer, and you have to be a little.
Yes,
you have to
Andrew.
be confident in what God is telling you, and stop and don't second guess it. So she also did a demonstration with water that was phenomenal. Like she put, you know, some blue coloring. She had 4 cups of water, and she put blue coloring in one, and the blue coloring in one represented the world. It's real easy to see that this is the one you shouldn't drink. But then she put clear substances in 2 other cups, and then she hid it so you couldn't see which one she did. And she just turned around and was like, okay, now she put poisonous substances in 2 of the cups. Now who wants to come up and take a drink?
Jesus.
And it was not so easy to see. The water was different.
You couldn't see it at all.
couldn't
Like they
see.
all still look like water.
So you had to, and then she called 2 people up to come up to discern.
Right.
And you know, discern sometimes is with smell. So
Yeah, spiritually,
they
you
had
should
to
know.
smell.
Discern.
And they
smell.
were able to discern, but they had to come closer.
Yeah.
And a couple people had to smell more than one time to
Right.
make sure they were making the right decisions.
Right.
And so it was just a very good visual
Amen.
of what we should be doing. How you just can't take people at face value, because again, remember, 2 of those things had poisonous substances in it.
Right.
So if you take people at face value, you just ingested something that's harmful to you, or you just invited someone into your life that's harmful to you, or that means no good. So it was amazing today. The service was amazing today. And then the fact that this, it didn't play right and all this stuff, and the fact that God even fixed that, like today's service was amazing. And it just allows, I love my pastor, as you guys already know. I love my best friend, as you guys already know. But I just love how God uses her in ways that just continues to teach and show things in ways that I probably would have never thought of before. Yes, I think I have the gift of discernment. I think I have no issue with that. But even the demonstration today showed me some things, and I just thought it was amazing. And I thought anybody that was in church today had to be blessed by it. even if you didn't even realize that you was coming to church, even if you just so happened to be in the door, you had to be blessed by what took place today.
Amen.
And if you guys are on here now, we'll post the YouTube video of it so you can watch it. I'm telling you, if you didn't go to church today, you need to watch it, because it would be a great way to end your evening.
Glory. Come on.
Amen.
And where can they find it at, JB? You said you're gonna post it.
I post it, but it's on YouTube, but I will post the link.
What's the page?
What page is on? So
it's on the New Life page, but I'll post the link.
Okay,
Yeah.
New Life. You could catch it on New
Life
Life
Now
Church.
Church.
Yes.
Page, right?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
New Life Now Church Ministries on Facebook?
It's New Life. No, it's not on Facebook yet. That's what I'm saying. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
So it's New Life Now, but it's New Life Now Church. But I will post the link. But it's New Life Now Church.
Okay, New Life Now Church
on YouTube. Okay. Dope. All right, Pastor. Did you go to church today?
Well, come on, girl.
I know
I
you went to church. Girl, you know I went to church. I know you went to church, but come on, you gotta.
Okay, so the part that I'll give,
come on,
because I preached. The part that I can share is where I shared this in a video. After yesterday, we went to a conference this weekend, and which was just amazing, just high in the Lord. So yesterday when I went home, I was on the couch talking to the Lord. And I was sitting there talking to the Lord, and then I just got convicted because I was sitting on, and you're tired and different things like that. But I was sitting on the Lord, and I was just like, no. And He started dealing with me about honor. And so I was like, because I was sitting casually, and again, I'm not legalistic. I'm not that person. I'm not the person that you have to do this traditional thing. No, but my heart, because I was thanking Him for so much revelation that weekend, for answering so many prayers, for deliverance, for pouring things back into me. And I was just really honoring Him. Yeah. And then I felt like when I was sitting there, I just felt like it wasn't enough. And so I began to bow before Him, and I've always, bowed and I'll lay prostrate and things. But even in myself, it is what it is for myself. I reverence God, and I said, no, I'm not honoring you. And He said, yeah, people don't honor me, because I said, God, what is the difference? And I started asking Him why. What is the difference between the generals of old and the miracles that they've seen and the revelation that they received from you and everything else? And He said, people don't honor me like they used to.
Wow.
And I understand now it's nothing about the clothing and jeans. Now, don't get me twisted. Some of y'all wearing the wrong stuff to church. I don't care what you say. But it's not that you can't wear jeans to church and certain things. I can't go. And I didn't say this. I changed my clothes twice today. I changed my clothes twice because I threw on these other pants that I had before, and I was like, oh, they're so comfortable, whatever. But even with my long, like I would tend to wear long jackets and stuff like that to cover up my hips and my behind. And so I felt like the jacket that I had on, it was long, but it still, for me, wasn't long enough. Mm-hmm. And with those type of pants, they made them look more like leggings. Mm-hmm. And I'm a thick woman. Mm-hmm. So I'm not your size. So for you, they would have been fine. But for me, it was too, I was like, no. I just felt like it was showing too much of my shape. Mm-hmm. So I changed my clothes. And again, I'm the pastor, so I changed my clothes. And I said, okay, nope, I don't like this shirt with that, because it still looks like it's too much. And I don't want to ever present that. Now, I preach in my robe and my dresses. But still, when I addressed the church, when I changed, I didn't want to have a look of sex. I didn't want to have a look of sexiness, because that's not what I'm trying to invoke. Mm-hmm. So even with that, I changed my clothes, and I said, God, we have to reverence. So God began to talk about reverencing Him and how we just look at Him almost like a peer, because we say God is our friend, Jesus is our friend, which He is, but He's also the great I am. He also is our Savior. Like, He chose us. He's the only living God. So I'm like, wait a second. I have to put you back in my mind the way it was when I first got with Him. He is God. You know what I mean? So that took me to a different place. And then because I was bowing, at one point I looked up and I saw the vase of flowers, that they were dead. Like these same flowers I gave some out last week during a different demonstration. And they were beautiful. I took a picture of them, put on my Facebook page. They're absolutely gorgeous. And when I saw them 7 days later, they were dead. I mean, dry, brittle. You touch it, a leaf falls off. I said, and God said, do you see what happens? I said, the environment. I said, where's all the water? Because I'm looking, all the water was gone. I said, God, when I did this, remember when we did it? And I cut the packet up and whatever. So I was like, they were beautiful. And it was Tamsin now when we poured the water, because Tamsin didn't know to put the pack of water, the pack of nutrients in there. It was almost filled to the top. And I said, God, I said, God, in 7 days,
It drank it all up.
It drank it all up. And I said, and He just began to give me a sermon. I said, and I didn't notice when it happened, because the next day they were pretty. Walk past them. The next day they were pretty. Well, they're in my living room. I'm in there every day. I have to walk past them. Said they're gorgeous. I said, when did they die? And God said, they've been dying right in front of you. You just couldn't see it. He said, so on the outside they look alive.
Wow.
And a lot of people in church, you look like this blooming, wonderful flower. But on the inside, you were dying. So then God just began to give revelation. And he said, they didn't just start dying. They've been dying. And then he did all that. Then said, actually, let me take it deeper. They never had a chance. And I said, wait a minute. Because he gave me the scripture, Jeremiah 17:7. He said, be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. He said, they never had a chance. He said, even with the food and water you gave them, they never stood a chance. And I said, well, God, if I'd have put more water, they were depending on me, because in Jeremiah 5:6, it goes to say, curse are you who depends on man. So that's even depending on yourself, because you're a man. So you're cursed if you depend on man. You're going to be like a bush in the desert. You're going to be dried up and all these things. So I said, well, God, they were depending on me. Yeah. God said, no. Now we're talking about flowers, but he said, no curse when they depend on man. I said, but if I would have watered them again, they would have probably been alive longer. He said, that's what he told me. They didn't stand a chance because they were cut off from their original source.
Wow, come on.
Because the moment they got cut from their original source, which is him,
Jesus.
They started dying.
That's good.
So God
That's
was
good.
talking about, because we're not planted, we get cut off from our original source. We deal with something in life. We deal with emotion, and then we end up around garbage. So like he just put this whole thing together, and you can smell the stench in the sanctuary. Yes. But after I started preaching about 10 minutes, I didn't even smell the stench anymore because I was used to it. And you don't even realize all that sin what it produces. And we show Keeney with one bag, and first it starts off with a little thing, and then the next thing you know, you're full of garbage. And then we talked about transpiration, which means the water, and it's not just that the water comes up through the roots and waters the plant. If you were to take a bag and surround the top of the plant and clamp it, eventually you'll see water particles, because it's not just that plants or us take in the water, we give it out. I said, so what are we giving out? I said, because eventually you start to smell. Eventually garbage comes out your mouth. Eventually it comes out of you. And so same way, Candy is over there with life, so what goes in her is going to come out. And when you're in garbage, what goes in you is going to come out too. And you may not think, oh, it's not going. Eventually you ended up cursing. Oh, where'd that come from? And then eventually you said this. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, because you're around garbage, and it's going to come out. You look different. You know what I'm saying? Things where you go, what you say, how you respond, your negativity, it comes out of you. Whatever your environment is key. And the sermon was, you can't live in this. Right? Is that it? You can't. I think that's what I call the sermon. You can't live in this.
Consider the source is what is listed on
that's the
YouTube, but that's
okay. I think I called it. You can't live in this, and or you can't grow in this, something like that. And that was the garbage piece. And even like I told Joyce with the water, and I didn't, because I let the Holy Spirit let me flow when I minister. And so one of the things I said too is like, even with the water, the minute a drop of something different was in there, the entire thing was contaminated. And sometimes we think it's just a little bit, like, oh, it's just a little thing, but just a little bit contaminated. Yeah, because a drop of it, one was alcohol and one was witch hazel. So if you were to consume that, you'll be you could be sick, and you can't drink alcohol.
It's a poisonous substance.
Yeah, but they all look the same. They all looked exactly like water. And again, God gave me all this when I'm in prayer, just reverencing Him and talking to Him and thanking Him, and He just began to give me all that revelation from in the position of being bowed, because I wouldn't have seen it if I stayed sitting on the couch. I wouldn't, because the flowers would have been behind me. But the fact that I bowed down, even how He convicted my heart there, it's like, no, baby, because I normally lay prostrate before Him, and the fact that I get up at 4:00 in the morning now to pray, it's hard sometimes. So sometimes I'll just prop myself up in the bed just to sit up, and I'll start praying. But I got to go back to bowing, because sometimes when I bow myself right to sleep. And the thing is, I fell asleep yesterday, but I fell asleep after all the revelation, and I started reading in my word. I woke up on my knees, and I'm on my rug, and I was like, oh, my knees hurt. I fell asleep in the bow position. Then your legs fall asleep. I said, how am I going to get up? God, just tilt me over. So I fell asleep in that position, and I don't want to fall asleep on my watch. Come on. So yeah, guys, just watch the sermon. If you desire, share the sermon. But God, and I give God all the glory. I thank God that He uses me in the way that He does. But I think that, and He said that the visual, He wanted us to see how He felt. He said, because He sees us, He sees that we're dead, and He said, and we stink. And it's becoming, the scripture says, and it's become a stench in his nostrils. So we bless God.
Yo, that's good.
And we have 2 people who joined the church today.
Yes,
we had 2 more people join the church today. So God is just,
God is moving. They wanted to be on the
wonderful.
God side.
Yes,
not the
yes,
garbage
yes,
side.
And not even that. And
God
I think
is
they've
good. They
been
brother and sister.
brother and
too.
Yes,
sister.
yes,
And I
yes.
know that they love the Lord.
Yes,
But
they do. Yes,
very
they do.
true.
They have a house, a family, because the thing is be planted. Like you need a source, and
Yes.
I'm not the source. The church is not the source. God is the source,
God
but
is
we
the
need to do this
source.
together. And so, and I was just grateful for even how God led, even receiving them. Because sometimes we join a church, not even join a church. Sometimes we give our life to the Lord, not understanding that there's a change that has to happen. You could join a church all day. This is not a fraternity. This is not an organization or a gym. Like you, or even the gym expects you to change, right?
Yes.
But a gym is not chasing you
gym,
around.
not
Like
the
you have a membership and you haven't lost any weight. No, God is looking at us like, listen, you've been down with me for a minute. You haven't changed, and so we are not supposed to be of the world. And so even when they join, I said, listen, this journey is, they've given their life to the Lord.
Yes.
But when they join our church, I said, listen, I'm going to love on you. I'm going to pronounce blessings over you. I'm going to prophesy to you. I'm going to correct you. I'm going to chastise you, all in love. And I'm not going to ever try to embarrass you. But it's a family. As a spiritual mother or spiritual father, that's our job. I say, you may not like me sometimes. You may get upset and offended. I said, but be careful about offense. Because offense, again, I said, and I told the story about my late pastor, how I was very upset with her. But had she not corrected me and had she not chastised me and pushed me to where she knew I could go, because she saw in me what God saw in me. And if I had left, if I would have left that source, if I'd have walked away because I was mad at something she said or did, checking me, then where would I be?
And where would we be?
Come on, where would I be?
I know I wouldn't have been here.
Amen. So God, come on, God is good. Come on, you already
God
know.
is good.
To God be all the glory. That's what
All
it
the
is.
glory.
Come on, so did you go to church today? I believe that
Yes.
you just got something that you can live off. You got some food that will not die. You just got some food that won't
spoil like
come
that
on, spoil.
garbage.
That's it. That you can live off for forever and ever.
Yes,
He said, because those that hunger for him.
And that's what Kenny,
Thirst
and that's
for
what
him.
saying. Kenny was saying the hunger and the
Shall be
thirst
full.
and the. I said she doesn't
Shall
even
be filled.
understand with the plants.
Come on.
So-
Yo, God is good.
God is
You
good.
already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. All right, this is about that time. Roll call.
Roll call.
Yes. Who y'all got over there? Who y'all got?
I got Stephanie in the building, Carmen. I have Teresa in the building. Hi, Sister Blog. I got Andrew on here. I see Dennis. I see Shahira. I see Tamsin.
Come on.
I see Kelly. I see, who else do I see? I'm still scrolling.
Okay. I see Tiny.
See.
I see Etta.
And Richie.
I see, yep, you see Richie. I see.
I see Cena.
Come on, come through.
I
baby.
see Mike. I see Patricia. I see Steph. I see who else?
Oh, mine ain't scrolling no more. I'm
I
sorry.
see
Mine
Kiki.
is up.
I see Kiki. I see
Kiki.
Phil. I see Katrina.
Anybody?
I saw
I'm
Mother
still scrolling
Thompson,
down.
I believe.
Yes, Mother Thompson.
Thompson.
Yep. Did you say Alicia?
Did I?
I
No,
saw
I didn't.
Alicia.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't want to say this wrong.
Mike is on.
Naija Drakeford. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, sweetie. Naja. Maybe it's Naja.
Yeah, Naja.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I see that. I see Nicole. I see Margaret. I see. Who do you see?
Do you see?
I see
what
Michael.
I can't go.
Pam,
no further.
Nadira.
Mine ain't going up no further.
Michael, you can't scroll.
No.
I see a different Pam. I see a different Michael. I see Angela. I see Nikki.
Yes,
Teresa's in the building. I
Yep.
said Richie Rich. And I think did I miss anybody? Jay is in the building.
What up,
Eric
Jay?
is in the building. Abdul is in the building. I need some water. I see Sabrina in the building. I see Norm in the building. Yes, I think I got everybody. Jay Smooth is in the building. Quiet. Y'all know what's wrong with y'all computers? We supposed to do this together.
Mine ain't
All
scrolling
right.
up. Listen, we got
Jaquetta's in the
Come
building.
on, what up, Quetta in the building?
And everybody else, please share this. Do me a
Please,
favor.
please.
Press the share button on your page or your computer or your phone and share this out to the different groups that you guys are a part of. Share this out to your friends, a neighbor. You can copy the link, text it to somebody. You can send it in Snapchat.
So
You
we,
can send
we
this
see
on
Andrew
Instagram.
James.
Yep. Andrew.
He I think he just said he raised his hand. I guess we missed him. We
Yes.
sorry we missed you.
I'm so
Drew.
sorry.
Sorry, Drew. Yeah, that's my brother from the water. He's from London. He's from
All
UK.
right, we
He's
sorry we
5
missed
hours
you. We
ahead and
see
he
you.
watches Pam's World.
Yes,
All the
yes.
time.
Thank
Big
you.
to London.
Yeah, yeah.
I was about to do a Jamaican accent.
Yes.
Well, I don't know
Big
why.
up.
I'm about to say big shout out to London, but that's Jamaica. So I don't know your accent. Oh, talk a little louder, please. Who's that? That's Australia. Is it what? I can't hear you. Talk a little louder,
that's
please. Is that London?
Yes, yeah.
Australia.
See, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am.
That's like the down under voice.
Okay, down under. Big shout out. Thank you guys for joining Pam's World. Her thoughts, her
Thank you,
views.
Stephanie.
Yes, yes.
And we are wonderfully blessed that you guys decided to join
Yes.
us every Sunday. We
Yes,
are honored
thank
and
you.
humbled by it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And listen, if you don't know,
Now
if
you
this is
know.
your first time watching Pam's World, I'm gonna let you know in on a little secret right now. It's time for I gotta stop the music because I need the beat.
Are we doing
It's
that?
time. You already know what
We
time
doing-
it
we
is.
doing
You
the
know
intro?
what time it is.
You know-
You
You know what time
She's the lady that knows more than dudes do when it comes to sports. Who you gonna
You know
call
what time
to?
it is.
J B on sports.
You know what time it
When it comes to sports, she know what she talking about. She know more than you, so don't get
You know what time
fooled
it is.
by the pretty face. Cause she always do her thing. J to the B on Spitors, yeah.
All right,
Only
all
for my
right,
best friend.
everybody.
Spit everywhere.
All right, everybody. You know, it's a slow sports period right now. You know, baseball is about to start up. You know, you got people getting hurt in baseball and spring training, but you know, nothing really matters until about midway season for baseball
Baseball's
anyway.
whack.
Everybody knows I'm a Mets fan. So, you know, we got Syndergaard and we got, you know, a couple good pitchers. You know, we're working some things out. So, right now, I'm not going to talk too much about baseball. We already know the Knicks are in absolute last place.
JB, who was the dude that got 133 million though?
For?
For baseball? Did he get 133?
I don't know. A lot of people make that much money out in baseball.
Real, I'm about to play baseball. I always thought baseball was whack. Are you serious?
No, they get paid.
Somebody buy
and
me
their
a ball.
money, and their money's guaranteed.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I'm about somebody buy me a ball.
Yeah.
I have a bat
Well, right now,
for different reasons.
right now, well,
I need a ball.
pitchers get paid a lot.
Really?
Yeah, but you know they pay 100 and some odd games a year.
$133 million?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
But I guess
but it's not for 1 year. It's
I mean,
like
I didn't know.
because you got
years he had
yeah. Well, you're talking about Harper.
Okay,
he
that's
plays
the
for the
dude.
Phillies now.
Okay, yes.
You know, well, he wanted a $300 million contract. He refused to sign with his original team.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Like, he's
Do-
a pitcher.
Do they have
he's-
groupies like basketball players? Like they hang
most
out
of
in
them
the
get
dugout?
married and all that type of stuff. They don't
Like,
hang out in the
take me
dugout.
out to the
They
ball
don't hang out in the
game.
dugout. But I mean, come on, think. A-Rod
Because
got paid.
I never thought about groupies with baseball
A-Rod
people.
got-
Okay,
he
I'm
got
tripping.
a lot of
This is
money.
not
A-Rod
sports.
got paid.
Yeah.
A-Rod got
And
paid.
he changed his
and-
color.
Well, you know, A-Rod didn't. Well, he got a nice little spray tan. He with J-Lo now. He got
And
a match.
Sammy Sosa. Sammy
Well,
Sosa.
Sammy Sosa took some type of skin
Yeah,
lightening
because
thing.
he did Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but
He did.
A-Rod was always a little. He's Spanish. He was always a little. He wasn't like Sosa.
Okay.
So
You
is he
you
lighter or darker now?
Sosa was your color,
Sosa was
and now
like
he's
your
Joyce's
complexion.
color.
Now he like past
No.
his
I
your
know.
shirt color.
The dude he used to play for the Yankees.
No.
Oh,
Sammy Sosa played for the Cubs.
okay.
Yeah, he played for
Okay,
the Cubs.
I don't want to throw you off. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, he played for the Cubs, and he lightened his skin. You know, Dominicans. There's an issue with dark skinned
Yeah,
Dominicans
it
and
is,
light skinned
yeah,
Dominicans,
it is,
and there's a lot of self hatred where they take a lot of
know that.
bleaching agents
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, because
And so
people
there
think they're
were-
black. Remember when we went to Dominican Republic and everybody kept coming to me talking Spanish? They thought I was Dominican. I was like, Paquito,
Yeah, and-
Americano.
but a lot of people came out, like a lot of
Bueno.
Dominicans came out because he was one of the few successful dark skinned Dominicans,
And then
and then
changed
he
color.
did this, so it's kind of like furthers the self hate. He might took the pills, the bleaching creams. He did a Michael Jackson. Like he is a completely different color. He looks weird. But A-Rod was always this color. He just now has a orange spray tan to him because I think he needs to try to match
Look
J-Lo
like
a little
Oompa
bit.
Loompa.
Well, you know they just got engaged.
Well, who?
He, Jennifer.
No,
he
they
gave
did
her
not.
$9
For
million
real?
ring.
A what?
A $9 million ring.
Jesus.
They be quick.
A
Yeah,
$9
but
million
no, they've been dating for
No,
a couple
she
years.
dates some people for a minute.
Yeah,
I
they've been
feel
dating for a
so
couple
bad
rings. But
saying
you
that.
do know that when he played for the Yankees,
Oh, I saw that picture.
there's a picture with him while she was married
With-
to.
It's her. But no. It was all three of them. It was like
Yeah,
her
but-
husband.
But while she was married to Mark Anthony and her are on the sides of A-Rod. Like A-Rod's in the
yeah,
middle.
like he's in the, like they went to a game like, oh, we taking a picture with A-Rod.
Mhm.
And somebody would say, that's what happens when you take your wife with
But,
you
but,
to the
that, but,
game.
that, but that also happened when she was dating the dancer. Remember, she was dating a dancer. She
Yeah,
was
the young
opening
dancer,
up a
yeah.
a restaurant,
Okay.
and oh boy, what's the actor?
20-something years old.
Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck came to that restaurant opening
stop.
and gave her flowers while she was standing next to her
I can't.
her dancer boyfriend. Like, so J-Lo do what
J-Lo
she
said,
do.
let me show y'all something.
But she was like, look, I'm beautiful. I'm whatever
not-
age I
ain't
do
got
what
to-
I
y'all wanna
want.
act up? Yeah, out of here. And I'm going to get
Yeah.
She said, you must not know about me. I could have another you
Well,
in a minute. Matter of fact, he'll be here. Matter of fact, he is here. Matter of fact, he's been waiting. And I'm taking him out my pocket.
yeah, but the Sammy Sosa thing is very, very, very sad. It is the ultimate thing, because think of us also too. He also had a big fallout because he had he'd used steroids and he was
For real?
busted, and
Oh.
right now that's why he won't be in the hall. Like
Wow.
yeah, him,
Okay.
Mark McGuire, a couple people got caught up in that the whole steroid issue. But I started off by saying that the Knicks are in absolute last place. So we got my baseball team is about to start up. So come on, Mets, let's do it. Let's make some changes. Let's do some things. Everybody don't get too excited about Bryce Harper's contract. 13 years. The Phillies are in our, we play the Phillies, so that's going to be a little interesting dynamic. But he can't pitch every game. So we don't have to worry about him too much. But the Knicks are in absolute last place. So the best part of the NBA season this year is it doesn't look like LeBron is going to make the playoffs. I mean, how many people saw the Lakers not making the playoffs? Now, I knew they weren't going to go to the finals. I knew LeBron wasn't going to go to the finals. But I was hoping they didn't make the playoffs. But every Laker fan that I know just had their ticket stamped to go to the playoffs. But it doesn't look like they're going to make it, and that's making my wonderful, 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 wonderful day. Everybody knows, too, the best part about March is March Madness is coming up. And, it's about to be selection Sundays around the corner. So we're getting ready to get our brackets and get ready to get our teams and all these wonderful things. And everybody know Duke's lost their number 1 seed. So I would like to wonder how they're going to fall in play. I do know that they're going to get back Big Boy this week when they start the ACC tournament. So keep our eyes and ears open. Get your brackets ready. This is a wonderful time of college basketball. This is probably the only time I really pay attention to almost about every game that goes on, because every game matters. You like the Cinderella stories. You like to see who's going to get to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. It's crazy. And it's a joyride for some of these college kids, especially some of them who will never really make it to the league. So this is a really good. If you don't watch college basketball, if you get an opportunity, check a couple of the games out, because I'm sure you'll love it. And then, you cannot talk about football. Football is my absolute favorite sport. Absolute favorite sport. And everybody's been hearing about the 2 prima donnas of the league right now. You got Antonio Brown and OBJ, and it looks like Antonio Brown may have gotten a deal inked. It's a verbal agreement right now. He may be going out to Oakland, which will end him in Vegas. Everybody knows that they're moving to Vegas. So yeah, he's going to have a $30 million guaranteed money. So I wonder what you guys think. He has gotten everything he wanted. He disrespected his coach's staff. He played crazy. He called out his quarterback. He called out his coach. He called out the owners. And in this type of environment, they tell you that these types of players don't do well in locker rooms, because they change the morale. They change. They're like a cancer in the locker room. And this is kind of what OBJ is kind of been a little bit for the Giants. Just a head case, like he don't get the ball enough. And then when he was getting thrown the ball and he dropping the ball, nobody's speaking on those things. But Eli not throwing the ball enough, or this is happening, that is happening. And do you really think you need a prima donna like a Antonio Brown or an OBJ to win the Super Bowl? Look at what New England has done. Look at what, the Raiders, not the Raiders, the Ravens have done. You've had teams that have won with average wide receivers. So do you think the money and the headache of dealing with these types of prima donna players is necessary? Is it worth it? And also too, you had a now y'all do know that I am a cowboy hater, and I think the piece that just made my heart just jump for joy was that there was a cowboy player that actually quit the league this week while smoking a blunt on Instagram.
Did you see him? I think JB.
He
what was that
rather
mess
smoke a blunt
than
make millions of dollars.
I couldn't believe it.
So it just goes to tell
That
you
is
the
a-
mentality.
Yep,
It's because he
That was
wanted to smoke
ridiculous.
weed.
He wanted to smoke weed. He was
Quit.
suspended because he violated the drug policy,
That was
and he
crazy.
got caught smoking weed. Now this was his.
He looked so
They
ignorant.
suspend you indefinitely when you've gotten caught X amount of times.
Okay.
And so instead of him
He said he
complying
wasn't
with
gonna
the
And get himself together.
get himself together, he was like, you know what? I'm retired while smoking the blunt on Instagram.
Yep. It was
So-
the stupidest thing.
But you know, Ricky Williams did something very similar.
But you know how
to
much
that.
pride that
Yeah,
is.
he's
That's
an idiot,
pride.
too.
That's pride. That's control. Because you're not going to
Yeah.
tell me what to do.
But they ain't gonna be
It's
crying
pride.
with his money gone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I
you know,
ain't mad at
football
it.
money ain't guaranteed. See, he used to getting them checks. Football money ain't guaranteed.
Jesus.
You violate the policy,
That's
they
how
don't
he
have
was
to
able
pay
to buy
you no
that
more
weed.
money.
He's not going to be able to get weed.
Yeah.
He's going to be getting
that's
grass.
right. I could
He going
not
to take them
believe
dry flowers I had in the church
He
and
said he
cut them
quit.
up.
He said he quit. He was like he quit because he said something. He's like he wasn't gonna stop smoking weed. I was like, yo, I said this is so ignorant.
Yeah, but pretty much he was trying to say that he think this is a stupid rule. You know, it's legal in certain states and stuff like that. But this is the rules
But
of
this
the
is
game.
the rule of your
You don't
contract.
have to play this game.
Exactly.
So if he's right, if you don't want to play the game,
Who
you
is
want to
he?
go
Where is
smoke.
his mother? His mother probably
Yeah,
dead.
she probably smoking right next to him.
With that mentality, it might be smoking. Mom, hand me the blunt. Hold on, let me finish rolling it.
but he's not. He's
Let me
not
t-
the only
let me lick
player
it.
that's been busted for smoking weed.
Right.
He is probably the second person that I've known in the league that quit for that reason. Like, cause that happened. Y'all remember that happened with Ricky Waters, I believe. Ricky Williams. When he played, he got tired of the game and whatever, but he was smoking weed and walking around barefoot in fields or whatever.
What?
Like, some people got issues, and I think that's what some people are saying. Like, maybe football calls this, like, maybe head injuries.
head
and
injuries.
He not thinking straight or whatever. But at the end of the day, he forfeit millions of dollars so he can smoke weed.
Pride, like you said.
But also too is like, I just pray that he had some business acumen or something where he did something with the money that he had, because a lot of these players, they don't have that.
But it doesn't sound like he is that person who would do that if this is what you're doing. Because that's like for your mans and them. I'm gonna show you. People clowning you and you saying, "Nah, this is you crazy."
That was very.
You
And-
work
and
hard
there
to
was-
get. Man,
And there was
listen.
one other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about. Marshawn Lynch, y'all do know who he is, right?
No.
No.
But he's a running back, and he played with the Seattle.
Okay.
He played with
Seahawks?
Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
They won a Super Bowl together. They kind of played him out that one year where they could have won again. But then he went to Oakland, and he was from Oakland. He wanted to play for Oakland. He went to Oakland, and he's just, I like him. They call him Beast Mode, right?
Okay.
And there was a story about him, and you look at him, you think he kind of crazy. You think he don't, he's not about his business or whatever. But he said that he had, out of his $49 million he made in the league, like, he didn't spend $1 of his football money.
Come on.
Yeah.
Everything that he did was off of his endorsements. He lived off of his endorsements.
What's his name?
His name is Marshawn Lynch, right? But what
very smart,
what if you
wise.
look at him though, you would not have thought that. So
Come on, Joseph.
everybody can't be judged.
No,
by-
I'm not judging his appearance. I'm judging what
No,
this
no.
man's actions were.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying
Okay.
even him, like, he's
Okay.
made some goofy. He's
what?
done some
Oh, okay.
goofy things and said some goofy things, and
Okay.
he's funny. I like
I was
Beast
talking
Mode.
about your weed smoker.
Yeah,
dude.
but I'm just saying, like, I hope he has some type of business
Okay.
acumen like that. Like, I hope he held on to some of his money. I hope
Hey,
he was
Najee.
smart with some stuff. Maybe he's going to go into open a weed place.
What,
now-
what do you call
They
that?
do be
They have
They-
that.
they
Like,
call
Shawnee was
those-
open up one.
What are those?
They don't have to be Medi
dispensaries?
anymore.
A weed
In some
dispensary.
places, it's legal. You can just go there and purchase your weed and sit and smoke and eat.
Wow.
And
Everybody's high.
there's a lot of celebrities.
Did you smoke weed before?
No, not really. You tried to do some things and force some things on me back in the day, but no, not really. Maybe you tried it once.
I tried to get you to smoke weed.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I didn't like weed. I didn't like the way it made me
Yes, you
feel.
tried. Yes.
I don't know
Thank
what
you.
kind
Hi,
of
Mom.
weed yet. Oh, sorry. My mother wouldn't know what was happening right now.
That's
Anyway,
not funny.
I'm not trying to be funny. It's my reality.
I can't.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be funny, but my mother knows I used to smoke weed. She doesn't know when I was doing
know.
it.
Right, yeah,
she knows after.
After, yes.
I used to smoke
Hey,
weed.
I hope
Pam
you weren't
said she
watching
didn't
this
smoke
with me.
weed.
I tried.
Sorry,
smoked it. I
Mrs.
didn't
Space.
Like, I didn't.
That I tried to influence your daughter
I didn't
incorrectly.
Like what it did to me. That's why
I
drinking was-
love.
Well, you know, I had my
That's how
father.
I love liquor.
I loved
That
weed because I
alcohol?
didn't have to drink a lot. Because I had a high tolerance to alcohol because my dad used to give me alcohol when I was
Yeah.
little.
But my issue is, I think it's my father. So I never really
Okay.
wanted to do any of that.
Okay.
Because I did
Yes.
not know
What would happen?
what would be the.
Yes.
the
my father
thing.
was letting me drink when I was
Yeah,
like
so-
5. So when I drank as an adult, it took a lot to get me drunk, and I didn't like hard liquor anyway. So I wouldn't do Hennessy and all of that stuff. What? No, I like sweet drinks. But weed got me high very quickly. I loved it.
Right.
And food tasted amazing. Like it was like slow motion. You were like, this
Well,
is the best food ever.
they have a lot of places that have like
That's
a lot
crazy.
more edibles and stuff like that too.
I never did
Jesus.
edible. I did the weed, but I also I did
But
the
they-
weed.
You
they're
don't
saying-
even know how much you consuming with them edibles.
but
yo.
that's what I think people
Jesus,
like that, the
heartbeat
people who
will
want to
stop.
smoke,
yeah.
I think that's the type of business that some of them are going to go into. Because Shawnee did a thing where she was trying to open up.
Who's Shawnee?
Shaquille O'Neal's ex-wife.
Okay.
Are
Okay.
you serious?
I guess for some people it's just a way to make
Yeah,
money.
that's-
Yeah, fine. My father let
that's
me drink alcohol,
just crazy.
beer, and everything else. And then 10 years old, and I remember even when I was in high school, my
started
8th grade
drinking
trip
at a
going
young
into high school. Remember, I didn't go on my 8th grade trip because I
Going
went
on a
with my
bike?
father to
Yeah.
Americade. I used to like riding bikes with my dad. So I went to Americade, and I remember they had these. We went to this restaurant, and they had these drinks in a pineapple, and it came in. I said, "Daddy, can I get that?" He was like, "Yeah." My father just is like, my father's my father. So I was like, "Dad, can I get that?" He was like, "Yeah." And so I had like 3 or 4, and they all had alcohol. So that night, my father was clowning me, and he's with all his friends, and they clowning me because like, "Daddy, I can't talk. My tongue is numb." Like because I was eating the core of the pineapple,
Right.
and I was eating because I love pineapple, so I ate the inside, the liquor and the acid,
Yeah.
and my mouth was like numb. So my lips swole up and all types of stuff, and I was like, I can't talk because of the. And they clowning me because I'm drunk
she
and
told
I
me
can't
about it. I
talk.
was cracking
Yo.
up. I thought
But
it
it's
was
what it is.
I
But
said from pineapple, and I was a little
Yeah,
slow.
yeah. From pineapple, I was like the alcohol.
She was like the alcohol
And
the pineapple
and the
fool.
acid, because you know if you eat the core,
Yeah,
it's a lot of
yeah, it's a
acid in
lot.
that. But yeah, I used to smoke and steal
I can't.
because I was stealing food.
can't.
You know, you steal food, put one on a tray.
I can't. I can't.
Well, you ever go to, Roy Rogers on the Parkway or the Turnpike
I'm over
when
here
you
all
go
the way in. We
and you
ain't
have to
got
put your
no
tray up
music
and you
on.
put your burger and your fries and you take it to the register? So I will put a burger on my tray, a burger in my pocketbook. I'll put fries on the tray, fries in my pocketbook. Chicken fingers on the tray, chicken fingers in my pocketbook. And then I went and paid for it.
Right.
And then that night we started driving and then we got pulled over by the cops. I was like, oh God, they saw me on the camera stealing all the food. But that's not why we got pulled over. I forgot. I think I was with Mandy and Sherry and them. I did.
I was not there.
Yo,
Yeah, no,
I
Joyce
can't.
wasn't there. Joyce was not there,
cannot
but I
do it.
did.
What?
I did. That would go
for you.
one. Cause then
What?
what? And it was like the best tasting burgers ever with bacon and cheese. Everything
yeah,
was
Roy Rogers
magnified.
used to have
And
some
but
good
I used to
food.
steal.
Yeah.
I did. I used to steal, and I would have a whole bunch of food. So I tell you all this: God can do it.
Yes,
Because
Won't
if
he
He
do it?
saved me,
Won't he do it?
He
yes,
can
he will.
save you.
Yes,
Yes.
he will. But that's it for me, you
No,
guys.
JB, not before,
on
not yet,
sports.
not JB. Can I ask you a question?
What's that?
What do you feel about?
He had
They
his
said
hand on- he
LeBron.
sure he had his
Did he
hand on
really
me.
throw his team under the bus?
Yeah, I mean, come on, LeBron. Look what he did. Okay, people.
I didn't see it. I
people-
just saw the headline.
People fail to realize that LeBron only really cares about himself and winning.
Wow.
He's always been that way. When he came out in the league, he played for Cleveland when he had no choice. When he was a rookie. He came. He was going to put Cleveland on his back, and then
Hope
he
my brother
realized that he
watching.
couldn't
Listen,
win.
boy.
When he realized he couldn't win there, realized he couldn't get nobody to want to come to play to Cleveland, he had that whole televised thing.
That's what they were mad
I'm
with him when he
taking-
burned
yeah,
his jersey.
They burned his
They
jersey
burned his
because it's
jersey
how
and
he
stuff.
did it. He left them hanging. If he would have told them he was going to not sign, and granted, you're right. You can do whatever you want. You don't owe a team nothing because they'll cut you, right? But if you'd have told them that you weren't going to sign, they would have traded you to wherever probably you wanted to go, and they would have gotten something in return.
Right.
But he didn't do that. He made it seem like they had a chance. So they got nothing. LeBron walked for nothing. And then he did a televised interview. I'm going to bring my talents to South Beach. I mean, I knew he wasn't coming to New York, so I wasn't beat. But
Right.
still, he left all these teams in limbo. Nobody was getting picked up. No free agents were being signed because everybody wanted to figure out if
What
their
he was gonna
team
do, was
was
gonna
going to
get
get the LeBron lottery.
Wow.
Look at Joyce.
So when he went to Miami, and now don't get twisted, him and D Wade were good friends. But even when he went there, in the beginning, they weren't playing well together. And even then, he was being pissy and foolish acting with D Wade.
Wow.
And that's when, I don't care what people say,
She says
he had to lay back his game some in order for them to coexist. Because him, Bosh, and LeBron wind up working very well together with Birdman and a couple other people that played. They worked very well together, and they won a couple championships. I was so happy when Ray Allen shot in the corner. I still love it. I really love you, Ray Allen. I love you. Thank you. They beat them, and when they beat them, I was just so excited that the Celtics won. I hate the Celtics, of course, but I was so happy that LeBron lost. You know, but they did. They come back and they won. So then he left and went back to Cleveland.
Who?
LeBron. He left Miami.
He went to Cleveland back?
He went back to Cleveland.
Cleveland back.
And then when he went back to Cleveland, then, you know, they got J.R. Smith and they got Shump. No. He left them again. So, but this time when he went back to Cleveland, he was like, I'm for the people of Cleveland.
Yeah, he did.
You know, I love Cleveland. I'm going to open a school in Cleveland. I love Cleveland. Then, when people don't act right, he started throwing them under the bus. He threw the coach under the bus. Everything, when things don't go according to the plan, everybody's fault.
It's everybody
But
else's fault.
LeBron's, you know? And so it bothered me. So then, okay, he left.
Victim syndrome.
Yes, and then he left. Don't get twisted. This time he left on better terms.
Yeah.
They knew he wasn't going to sign. Everybody knew he was going to opt out. He bought Cleveland their championships. Everybody is upset. Everybody's okay, right? So he goes to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, oh, Magic Johnson, he's going to do it. Yeah. So he's out there, and Laker fans are not happy.
Yeah.
There are
Isn't
a lot
Kobe
of.
a Laker?
He used to be. He retired.
Oh, he retired?
But that's why a lot of Laker fans aren't happy.
I don't know.
That's why a lot of Laker fans aren't happy because there was always been a comparison between him and Kobe. And Kobe always played with a lot of heart, and you know he got a lot of accolades tied to Jordan. But then when LeBron started playing, it was all about LeBron. So there are a lot of Laker fans who feel like he's not as good as Kobe. There's a lot of people who didn't want him on the team. But then there's a lot of people who was like, oh, now we got LeBron. We going straight to the finals. And that's why I'm ecstatic that they didn't make it. But the whole issue is they were ready to get rid of the whole team.
Wow.
He was ready to trade the whole team away to get Anthony Davis. And when the Anthony Davis trade didn't happen before the trade deadline, everybody on the team realized that they just window dressing to next season.
Yeah.
So
That's
all these players who thought they was working together with LeBron and was going to make something build with LeBron, all of them realized that that's not happening. So, you know, they're millennial type of kids.
Yeah.
So everybody got their feelings hurt. And so everybody got their feelings hurt. Everybody thought they was the greatest, and they thought they was going to be playing with one of the greatest. And now they realize that he really don't not beat for you. He really want Anthony Davis. He really want some other people to come on board. Come on. They got Stevens. Stevens was trash. They got Beasley. Beasley's trash. Now I like Rondo. Rondo got a little head case.
Yeah, but
I like Rondo.
Yeah, he's
but still, there's a lot of people who thought they were going to do something, but everybody knew that LeBron wasn't going to win with this team. But still, everybody thought they would go to the playoffs, and they're not going to make the playoffs this year. So it does my heart good.
You already know. You heard it right here on J to the B on
Does my heart good.
You already know. She said,
Yeah, I
does
know LeBron not going to be in the playoffs.
Good. Come on, sit down.
This is the first time that he's not going to be in the finals.
I bet you
years.
this is a humbling place for him.
But it's not. You know what? He's going to act like he's
It
going to act
should
like
be.
no.
It should be.
He's
I hope
already
he
because they already
embraces it.
starting. This is the part
Yeah,
that
'cause
they're
he
talking
already
about.
talking
He already
crazy.
talking about like he's not 100%. Like, come on. When is a groin injury? And I'm not saying he wasn't hurt.
JB,
but,
you know he not trying to say.
No. He was out for weeks. He didn't play for weeks because he had a groin injury. And on top of having a groin injury, now they're talking about shutting him down. Now they're talking about, you know, they really know they're not going to make the playoffs. And so we might as well rest him. So, nobody, no true superstar will allow that to happen. And you still charging LeBron prices. Even Snoop made a video
for $5
about like selling his
ticket for $5.
It's because that's what it's worth.
Mm-hmm. He sold his ticket for $5.
Wow.
He never sold his Kobe tickets.
He sure did.
When Kobe played, he was at them games.
Whoa.
Wow.
So
that's why sometimes you think you go after the top and you don't get what you think you pay for.
You better say that, JB.
I'm not a LeBron fan, as y'all know. I do like what he's doing in the community. I do like the fact that he's opened up churches. Schools. I do like how he's a positive family man. I do love all of that. The person that I'm speaking about is the sports. It's the fun part. It's that part. I think he is a phenomenal person in regards to what he means to the black community, what he means for black boys, the conversations that he has about race, the fact that he does use his celebrity to point to issues, I think is amazing.
Amen.
But I still think he's a crybaby on the basketball court. I still think he got issues, and I still don't think he's better than Jordan. And now I'm starting to even think that he's not even better than Kobe. And I'm not a Kobe fan either.
Come on. And with that being said, right here,
yes,
right here, J to the B on. I told y'all.
Sports.
Yes, you already know what it is. Listen. Thank you, JP.
Yes.
All right, yes. So y'all already know what those who are down with.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no.
I was just reading the comments. No, they talking about when I was doing the weed. Somebody said, "Pass and step out of the car."
The police car.
Out of the car. Yes. Hey, listen. I wanna shift a little bit. I wanna talk about a little bit about this R. Kelly thing. And Pastor, I want to know what Pastor would say tonight about this one. It popped in my head. I thank you, Lord, because I did not know what I was going to ask tonight, and I'm grateful for the question, because I'm looking forward to the wisdom that God has given unto you. I want to weigh in with the people tonight. Listen, this is your time right here. I need for y'all to call in 646-233-1302. I want to talk. Gail King actually did an interview with R. Kelly, and I want to hear what y'all felt about it. I want to also ask y'all, what did you think about the young girls, Azarel, how you say her name, Azarel and Jocelyn or something like that. I want to find out how you felt, because at the end of the day, these are somebody's babies. And I listened to the father of both of the young girls, and they talked about how their children met R. Kelly. And the one father, his name is Angelo Claire something. Excuse me for not knowing his name. And Timothy Sabbath as the other gentleman. And they were talking about how their one daughter, Azarel, they talked about how she was in a relationship with a young man, and she was actually suicidal. It was her first boyfriend. So what they did, the mother and father had tickets. They said they weren't even in the front row. Their daughter always loved singing, and they said they weren't in the front row. They said, but they took their daughter. She had just came out of the psych ward. They had took her, because she tried to kill herself. Yeah, she tried to kill herself. So the father said they found her in a tub of water, and she had taken all of these pills. So when he went to go pick her up, he said the psychiatrist said that all she was talking about was her music. So they said that this is something, her music would help her to save her. You know how people say, and all of those things. So with that being said, they said they weren't going to leave her home. So what they did was bought another ticket and brought them with her. So they said when she was picked out of all of these people, that father said he was just like, yo, this could be fate. Like, okay, like she really do need to be singing. So they let her go on stage. The daughter had said that she talked to R. Kelly, and she went backstage, and he wanted to set her up with Sony Records and all of this stuff. So it was a meeting that came about with the mother was there, the father was there. She was 17 years old. R. Kelly talked to them and all of this stuff. But what he said he didn't know is that R. Kelly had given her a number that they saw, and he said he was just like, this is not the real number, what celebrity does that? And he said, but he had put his phone number in her phone, and he told her not to say anything. So she had his number, she had his personal number. And so with all of that happening, he began to just talk about how the daughter was 17, and R. Kelly, he said he finally went out to meet R. Kelly, and he said Sony was going to, R. Kelly was like, well, what you do to break an artist? The father was like, I just really want you to write a song for her. And he talked to them about breaking an artist. Well, let her go on tour with us, and a family member could come. And he said, and every time they flew her out with a family member, she would go out. I guess, I don't know if she was singing background or whatever, but she flew out. He said the day she turned 18, he said that she had started her semester in college. He said, and what they knew was that one day it was just like she was gone. Nobody knew what happened to her when she turned 18. Nobody knew what happened to the daughter. And he called R. Kelly and was like, he asked him, where is my daughter? And he said to the father, what did he say? He said to him, he said, all I wanted, he said, he called him the N-word. He said, where is my effing daughter? He said, and R. Kelly said to him, it's not time for you to see her yet. Click, and hung up on him. And I all I could do is just listen to this man on the phone, and it's just like you're listening to the conversations that he's having with the radio station, and it's just like you say to yourself, like, and even with the other gentleman, Tim's Sabat, I'm so sorry, I can't remember his last name. He was just like he was talking about what happened as well too, like it was just something that they used. He used this thing, you know what I mean? He used his celebrity to draw them and all of that stuff, and it's just like it's sad. And you know, Pastor, I'm gonna ask you the question now. What, because of all of this stuff that's going on, because I haven't seen anybody weigh in concerning this issue yet, I want to ask you, if you had to minister to R. Kelly, what would you say to him?
Well, I would have to, you know what?
Because
I can't say at this moment what I would say.
Okay.
Because I would truly have to let the Holy Spirit lead it, because he knows how to get to R. Kelly. I don't. You know, I mean, I'm just saying he would know best how to get to him. But what I would do, honestly, I would have to remove, of course, I would go in there as Pastor Didi, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I will go in there first with love on him, because he is a person too. Mm-hmm. He is a human being too. And I would go loving on him, and I would go trying to let him understand that I'm not here to condemn you. That's not my job. I'm here to, as me, you know, to love on you. And I'm trying, and my effort would be trying to get him to understand how this could be perceived as wrong in regarding these women, in regarding the spirit of control, and maybe flip it on him and say, if someone was to do some of the things that were done to you, how would you feel? How would you respond? Like, if you have children, and if someone took your daughter and answered the phone and said you can't talk to her right now, what would your response be for your child? What would your response be as a father to your child? Now, I don't know how effective that would be. Again, I would go in, if I prepare myself on that vein, because you already have to disarm his defenses. He already has walls. He already feels attacked. He already feels that nobody believes him. He's playing it's a victim mentality, but he has that piece. But to disarm that part first, and then be able to have a conversation, because I'm not going to go in as a reporter. I'm not asking those type of questions. I will go in trying to get to the R. Kelly behind all that. The same one who opened up to the wife and was able to tell, when this happened to you as a child. As a child, how did you feel when you had no control? And your sex, and they were having sex with you, your family members were having sex with you. How did you feel? I would go back to that, because a lot of what I believe he may be acting out is because, as abused victims, one thing that happens is your control was taken from you when you were a young child. And so as an adult, you put yourself in some positions where some people act out and say, this will never happen to me again. So you become the controller, because you couldn't do anything. You couldn't fight. You weren't strong enough. They took this from you. And so a lot of times we act out different things that happened when we were abused. A lot of people who were sexually abused are late to every place. You know, that's a fact. Yeah. They're late everywhere. And then when you find out why they're late, because I can control what time I come. You're not going to tell me, because I give you a schedule. And so we give you a schedule, so you need to be here by 7. in your mind, you're telling me what to do. I can control when I get there. No one's ever going to do that again. So a lot of times you act out and you're exerting what you couldn't exert when you were a child. And so control takes over and you get to do what you want to do. And then that's just a regular person. And I say regular, that's not a person with millions of fans, millions of dollars and influence and fame and all of that. That's just a regular person. So can you imagine how much this was magnified? Where were you mentally when you wrote I Believe I Can Fly? Where were you when you wrote that song? Remember, I wish. Like those parts are still in there somewhere. Right. And I would ask the Holy Spirit to guide me with the questions, and I know how God works. And that, honestly, that he would take over that. So to answer and say specifically everything I would say, I don't know everything, but I would try to go that route. Right. I would try to go that route and then allow God. See, God can do what we cannot do. Yeah. God can do what we cannot do, and we can't outthink God. And I could ask God, give me revelation, understanding, and that would be the understanding I believe he would give me to go in that way. And then once I'm in it, allow him to direct it. You know, and honestly, I would try to go that way. I definitely would pray for him because he needs to know somebody is on his side, but it doesn't condone. So you can't go to him with one conversation and then God, you got that's a process that I think it would take for somebody to continually minister to him. Right. One time, I don't think again, I'm limited. God knows one time may not be enough. But somebody needs to work with him if he allows it. Maybe he needs to get broken down to the point where he even allows that person in. Maybe him being in jail would be the thing that, because you can't go and do whatever. If you get this time, which he's going to get, and nobody can bail you out, you're going to get some time. And maybe during that time, that is an opportunity for you to, because you can't do the same things you were doing. You're confined. Humility hopefully comes into play. You can have all the pride and ego in the world. You are behind bars like everybody else. Right. So hopefully during that time, and even that still time and confinement and nighttime, God can minister to you. Because even with a lot of us, we do so much and we're moving until something knocks the wind out of us, and then God has to get our attention. Maybe this is this way of God getting his attention. He does not get a pass, but right now, trying to minister to somebody like that, the way he responded to Gail, and I think some of it was on purpose. I think he knew what he was doing. I think he was trying to get a reaction, a response, and because he does it. Because you do have people who are on his side who's like, they're trying to come for you, but I would go that way because we have to love everybody.
Right now,
he does need deliverance,
and I definitely everything that you say, I agree with it. And just to hear it, it's something. And like you said, I would go in as pastor, not, I would go in with as pastor.
With everything I know, I'm going with the God factor. I'm going with what God say. This is still God's child. At some point, he went away. Just like we need deliverance, he needs deliverance. But I would not go in, and that's why you have to just kind of be able to remove yourself. And so sometimes we used to pray, less of me, more of you, or we'll say, Lord, let me decrease. None of me. I say that's exactly what I say when I pray. I said none of me, all of you. And so you have to be able to turn that off and be able to know, like, your opinions or whatever you have to do, all that. You have to be able to do that, to operate in true forgiveness and compassion for a person, to remember that you were once on your way to hell for maybe some different reasons, wow. But there are pedophiles, there are murderers, there are rapists. I almost think rape is worse than murder. I mean, it's not you taking somebody's life, but it's just horrendous. Maybe as a woman, because I was date raped, but you still have to forgive. You still have to forgive, and if you had me go in there, that's the way I would go.
Yes, and you know what? I want to Tams, and I'm gonna address that in just a second. There was his lawyer that was before. That you heard about that? His lawyer.
That's what she was telling me earlier.
Yeah, that and for those who don't know, his lawyer, that he's actually 70-something years old and he's on his deathbed now. They're saying, and they talked. Did you hear about the Ignition song? Yeah, the remix to Ignition. There was a song. R. Kelly was. He said that R. Kelly is a monster, this, that, and the third. And he said this is what his thing is. He said he's guilty as H.E. The rest. Mm-hmm. He also said that the Ignition song. He said the reason why it's a remix is because and I thank you, Tasha. Thank you for sending me letting me know this. Shout out to Tasha. That R. Kelly's song was about the original song was about a 15-year-old girl, and she was getting sexed. And the ignition, it was like the original song was about a 15-year-old girl. And the lawyer told him, you cannot put this out. It was right after he got off of the case. He was going to put it out. That's why he calls it the remix to Ignition. He's like, you remember, when it come on, it says remix? That's the reason why the lawyer said he said it, because the original song was about a 15-year-old girl and driving a 15-year-old girl. That's what the original song was about. And I was just like, yo, like wow, like
that was my absolute fave.
You can see where, like you said, he has the spirit of perversion. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Spirits are really real. And it's like
when we was on the phone call with that person.
Remember how we learned that it gets 7 times worse, 7 times worse, and
7 times more.
And it just gets bigger.
Yeah, and what people don't understand when you're dealing with perversion or lust, it's lust. Like, so much is lust, and when you lust, your flesh wants what it wants. It doesn't care what the package is that it comes in. And then the perversion piece, not these girls are children. Like, these could be your daughters. They could be your daughters. You're 52. How old is he?
He's 52.
52, and they're 21 or whatever, 25. Yeah. And so when he was 47, they were like 16. Jesus. You know what I mean? And some were younger, though. He was at the high school, so he's dealt with someone who were 14, 15. So they're little girls. And there's something to be said, not just about R. Kelly, but about a lot of men who like little girls. There's something to be said. Some people deal with animals. You know that. Yes. Some people have sex with animals. And they don't have a say in it. Jesus. You're getting pets to have sex with them. Some people have sex with dolls. Some people have sex with, you got the homosexual thing, and everybody, it is what it is. So people having sex with everything. Jesus. And so, I mean, if you really want to take it there, and most people say that's natural, you masturbate. You having sex with yourself because you want to release, you want to be touched, whatever it is, and it just goes from one layer to a next, to a next, to a next, to a next. And it is. You eat a little cracker, you find that you're eating a donut, then you're eating a cake, then you're eating 2 cakes, and so then when you gain weight, you don't become overweight overnight. Right. No one becomes overweight overnight. You don't start off at 100 and let's say 40 pounds, and then you're 200 pounds overnight. It's a process, and it's more consumption, and even if you exercise, because you can still exercise, and if you still eat in a certain way, consuming certain things, yes, it is. It's definitely going to create. It's going to impact, and it's going to get on your body, and so then the next thing you know, oh my God, I gained 30 pounds. You didn't gain 30 pounds in a day. Yeah. And so the same way with him, this didn't happen overnight, but it started a long time ago. So, of course, back from the time of Aaliyah to now, how long has it been? And then if you're trying to halfway get delivered, and then you're singing a song about Jesus and braiding hair or whatever else you're doing, like, again, it's nobody's stopping it. The people behind the scenes know. The people you're working with know. Nobody's checking you, really. The courts found you not guilty because her parents are saying that's not her, because you're embarrassed, and most likely you were paid off because her father... She's coming forth. She's coming forth.
They just said that she's going to testify
because he has no more money.
Jesus.
Oh, so maybe that's why. Because I was going to say, the one who the case that he got off with her saying it wasn't her, her parents saying it wasn't her. That girl's father was still on his next couple of albums. So you're getting paid. You're working with him. Yep. So now that the money is gone, now you want to come forth. There's no more money. Other people are bailing him out of jail, but they can. The thing is, too, I feel like they're wasting their money because he's going to get some type of time.
Yeah, somebody just bailed him out.
Yeah, they said someone unanimously paid his
child support.
They just paid his child support. Now, how was that? They paid his child support, and even with all this money he was still making, he wasn't paying his child support. So again, you see a different dynamic. It's not just about these sexual allegations. Like, you're looking at this whole man. You're not just sexing these chicks. You're not paying for your kids. You're not seeing your children.
Now he's saying he's been robbed. He said the first time he went to the bank, it was 2 weeks ago, and all he had was $350,000 in his account. So he told me that he couldn't use the money because that money was being seized or moved to a different account. Like, so now he's blaming his stupidity on him not having money.
Outside of that, to get to $100 and however many dollars in child support arrears, that started a long time ago when you had the remixes to Ignition and when you were doing all these other big songs.
He owned $161,000.
He owed $161,000
in
arrears for child support. So you had millions of dollars. When you got out of jail, you changed your clothes. You came out to McDonald's with your Gucci coat. You could have turned that Gucci coat in, which I'm certain was at least $7,000 or whatever, and then gave that to your kids. Like, this is what I'm saying. So even it's not just about these sexual allegations, like who this person has become as a man. You have children that you are not taking care of. You get what I'm saying? These are your own seeds that you are not taking care of, but then you yelling on the interview. I didn't watch the whole thing with Miguel. I'm trying to see my kids, have a relationship with my kids. You don't even show that financially. You're trying to make sure that them and their mom, 161. Thank you, Andrew. And so even with that, there's a host is compacted as to who this person is. And can God deliver him if he wants to? Absolutely yes. And don't get it twisted. If he decided that he wanted to make the change and gave his whole life to God for real, you still have to stew in the consequences of your actions at one point. You see, God saves us. He saves us. And we still have to deal with some consequences to our actions. And so listen. But that's what I would do. And again, those who know to pray, we do need to pray for this man. We need to pray for the victims. We need to pray for some family members who may have a warped sense of, he was paying me off. So basically, you pimped out your children if that was the case. It's like, okay, here, I gave you my kids to sleep with because that's what you want, and you're paying me money. I live in a 5-bedroom house, and great, thanks. And what? So you have it's just some mentalities that we really, really need to pray for, and we really, really do need Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's kind of where I would go. Look at Joyce.
Yeah, JB.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. In all honesty, I would pray and ask God to send somebody else, because part of me is you know how what they say that thing about you know how sometimes you said God will tell you not to pray for a person,
Yes.
And I feel like at this point, that's the type of place I feel like he might be at, because I remember what took place when he was on trial the last time. I remember him going to the churches and being prayed for on national TV and falling out on the floor.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He went to like T.D. Jakes' church, and
he
was praying for him. He was being saved and set free, and then every church is playing that song, I Believe I Can Fly. He going around crying everywhere and talking about that's not him in the tapes. And it was him.
It was him.
He blamed it on his brother.
Are you serious?
That's what him and his brother. Remember on the documentary? Oh, you didn't watch it?
I couldn't watch it. I couldn't even watch it.
There's so many pieces of that just don't sit well, right? And then when you listen to and I mean I guess it was kind of cool that the lawyer is speaking now, but even in that you found out that he was making him take anti-libido pills.
Yes, that.
Like to try to help with his sex drive to prevent him from getting rearrested while they was doing. Yeah. So I mean, like this is not a small issue. This was a problem, and it seemed like there were people that were trying to help him, but he did not. You know how when you think you're bigger, you're better, you beat the case. Remember I was saying how sometimes if there's no consequence, people think they got away with it and they think it's okay. And I think in his mind, he feels as though, I really believe he thinks he's not doing anything wrong. I do believe in his mind, he thinks that he's saving these girls or helping these girls in some way. And I do believe that some of these parents and some of these families got paid off to look the other way. I 100% believe, especially when I heard that the 14-year-old girl that was in the original tape is going to speak up. My initial thought was, of course, he's now broke.
Jesus.
And everybody has said it's you.
That's crazy.
Your girls from your little 8th grade team said it's you.
Your best friend. One of them was her best friend.
Yeah, so, I mean, you don't think I would know who Pastor is.
Yeah.
You hear like,
that is to you, Joyce.
That's not you. Who you lying to?
Yes.
And then with her aunt, the one who her whole career was destroyed.
Her whole career was destroyed because she told the truth.
Because she told the truth.
And that's the thing. It's like after that happened, there are so many people who refuse to step up and tell the truth because people
look what
didn't want to
happened to
hear
her.
it. People didn't want to receive it. People didn't want to see what was going on. I mean, come on. After that, you had Jay-Z do the Best of Both Worlds. You had other people do tours with him. But you remember, everything he started to do started to have some problems. Even before the Mute R. Kelly, there was issues in the Jay-Z tour that it had to stop. That record didn't do half as what it could have done because there was issues. Then he went on tour, didn't do
I
something
was
before.
excited about that.
Yeah,
when they
but
was
he-
about to bring that out because I was just like,
Yeah, but there was all types of issues when the tour started to happen to the point where there was no tour.
it was no tour.
Yeah, so there had started to be things that was chinks in his armor. You know what I mean? So then you realize he was writing for people. So even though he wasn't up front anymore, he was still writing for people. So then you saw Gaga had a song with him. You saw all these people have music with him. And I'm like, how could y'all have music with him knowing what you know? It's different if you not, out there, you're not publicly supported, but you know what you know.
Yeah, you know.
You know it. Like, I'm not in the industry. I know he married Aaliyah.
Come on.
I know he slept with a 14-year-old girl in the tape. I didn't watch the tape, but I know it was him.
You know it.
Way too many people I know saw the tape and said,
It was him.
that's him.
Yeah, that's
When
the
I
same
saw the
thing
Dave
heard.
Chappelle episode,
Don't
it was
do
him.
Don't you
Right?
do it.
But at the end of the day, it's kind of like at a point now, it's like, yes, you now caught up. You can't get out of this.
Jesus.
Now you want the black people to come pray for you and save you. Oh, everybody's against the black man.
I do, Andrew.
Everybody's against the black man. Now if I see one more meme of Elvis and his 14-year-old wife, or Hugh Hefner and his 18-year-old girlfriends in his mansion, I don't care. These people were 18. These things happen, whatever. Who cares? We are now talking about, I'm not saying if they did something wrong, it's equally bad. But stop trying to discount what he's done
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
because of what
good.
they've done.
Because of what
That's
they've
good.
done, yeah.
That's good.
If it's just,
That's
it's
good.
sad because I see more women defending this person than I see men.
Oh, there wasn't a Aaliyah marriage. That's absolutely happened.
that's
That-
fact.
Yeah, that actually happened.
And his manager has come out and said that he helped forge
Yes, he did.
her age.
Yeah, he said
And
he
there's
changed
no
her age.
doubt about how old she was because he had to interact with her parents
Yeah.
to get her on board.
And someone says, do
Then
you
her
think
album was called
Okay.
Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
Yes.
Age
And
ain't
when you
nothing
listen to
but
the
a
song, do you
number.
hear what the song
Going
is saying?
down ain't nothing but a thing.
Come on.
Yeah, but when they played on a
Come on.
documentary and you hear certain songs, I was
there,
like,
this man
But-
is telling on himself in music.
but that's what I said. He was saying it in the music, the Pied Piper, and the people knew what the he said. And I told Perry, I said, Perry, he said, I'm the Pied Piper, whatever. And the Pied Piper's legend is that this person played music, and all the little children would come and follow him.
Jesus.
So he's saying, I'm the Pied Piper, and we don't know, and so it's just like,
And I didn't even know what that means.
yes, and
But
that's
we
what
was-
that meant. The
He
Pied
was
Piper,
all like,
because a Pied Piper means he goes to the village and he plays his music, his flute, whatever, and it's so beautiful. All the kids come and follow him, and so
at least he said it probably take 96 hours to deliver.
that would be a different process.
Yes,
Yeah,
God.
to deliver him. But but it's true. But like and I don't like the fact that like people try to discount. Oh, this person did this and this person did the black man. I don't care if he's black, white, whatever. With this stuff
It's
that
true.
he's done is what it is, and we like to discount people and say, oh, because they did this. So and I said this, I think to you before, somebody. I said, okay, so and they're mad, just like with the woman when they were the person who's going to run for president, I think the black woman, oh, she puts all black people in jail, she puts everybody in jail. I said, now if she puts somebody in jail who killed your mother, would you be on the same thing? So there's like, oh, well, they did this, but if he did that with your child,
Come on.
would you if this was your child, your daughter, that R. Kelly was doing this with, would you be still saying
Yeah,
that?
you'd have a
Would you
different-
still be
different
bumping the
opinion.
music? I still support him if that was your daughter. So stop saying, well, they did this. All right, but what if this happened to your family, your child, your sister?
Yeah, I know. I know my little $5, or back then, what a CD was like $7-8. I know my $7-8 probably didn't stop no shows. But I personally, when I have an issue, I feel like, and I don't call for everybody else to boycott. You can do what you want, but when I have an issue with an artist, or if I don't like a thing, I don't support them. And the thing is, he is not. He had no money if you don't support him. If you don't go to his shows, if you don't purchase his music, he could not continue to do what he's doing. He wouldn't have the influence that was having over these young girls. And so to me, my little $5, I don't, like I said, it didn't stop any show, but I feel like I didn't support
Kamala
this.
Harris, thank you.
I felt like I didn't support this. You know what I mean? No, don't get it twisted. Some of the music that made it played on the radio, was it good music? Absolutely. But I didn't go by the Chocolate Factory. I didn't go by none of his music.
But I stepped in the name of love.
Yes, but you didn't financially support him. Like, I don't stream his music.
Yeah.
You know? But 12 Play, but wasn't 12 Play his first album?
Yeah,
that was before he married Aaliyah. That was before that.
Yeah,
that was with R. Kelly in the public announcement, right? Back then, right? So Honey Love or something, right? But I mean, like, but at the end of the day, I just feel like, you know, we, and I'm not talking about we here, I'm talking about people in general. You're so quick to want to give somebody a pass for doing something that's ridiculous. Now, this is a level of ridiculousness, you know, enslaving teenage girls, sexing teenage girls, no matter if they came willingly or not. You are an adult that had a teenage daughter.
And they had to go to the bathroom in the room.
Yes,
they had to go to the bathroom in the paint buckets or whatever.
These are ridiculous allegations. I know they sound so far-fetched, right? But there are too many people saying the exact same thing that did not know each other. So there is truth to it. The videotape of the room is proof that these girls were in his house. To me, it's proof. Now, the girl that's coming forward from the tape, she might as well not. Because once he can't be retried for her situation.
But I think there's going to be so many people even mad
Unless
with
it's
her.
just
Because it's almost like if you would have told the truth back then, we wouldn't be in this situation because it would have stopped back then because he would have got time. You know what I'm saying? He would have had to, and I can't say that would never happen, but he definitely would have got time back then. So now why you come forward? Because again, your money ran out. So now you want to be the Red Robin Hood?
Maybe she wanted some surviving R. Kelly money. Because, you know.
But you can't get none now. Like, I don't want to hear from you now.
Yeah.
Aaliyah is on the remix to Your Body's Calling.
Can I ask a question?
The Body's Calling.
And I know we got to get out of here. Norm, I hope you show us some grace.
You got to be excellent.
Yes. Beat it. Listen, we're gonna get out of here on this one. You know what? What just popped in my mind is just like being 14 years old. Can you imagine how scared she was? You know what I mean? Like, what could you think that she was scared to come forward? You know what I mean? Because she done.
Well, she's already did, and her parents are telling her not to too.
It's just like so it's just like you thinking about the fact of that. It's just like her parents, they getting the money, so it's just like how many times
you said she feel bad.
How many times did he sleep with her before he peed on her? You understand? And they said before, and they said in the tape, they said before he peed on her and had sex with her, you see him giving her money. So you know what I mean? You don't know. You know what I mean? Just thinking about.
But we also said too, you're right. A 14-year-old's mind is not fully and completely developed. So I got what you're saying. Dealing with the pressure of coming against R. Kelly. But like she's saying, being the face to stand up against this icon of saying that. So you're right. That's a good perspective.
Yeah, it's a great perspective.
But I still don't know if I want to.
But there's two pieces of this, right? At 14 years old, I know physically girls that I know were sleeping with adults. When I was in high school, there were people who were dating people who were out of high school. So yes, I do understand you have younger women that are going to be attracted to or be with older men. I do understand you have younger women that may come on to older men. I get it, but it's still a crime.
Yeah.
The person, if they're a child, it's still a crime. It's up to that older man to say, you know, when you're 15 or you're 16, come back when you're 18, or you know, you got your whole life ahead of you. This is not what you want to do. But what happens is, you have so many people that are blaming the kids, because the girls that they show at these concerts, yes, they are half dressed. Some of them, not all, they're half dressed. Their butts are out, their boobs are out, and they all up in his face. Granted, that could be all well and good, but they're 15 and 16, and you are aware. So it is up to the adult to be the adult.
And a real grown man,
yes,
is going to be like,
now,
baby, go
now,
home.
but that's the thing. He's dumb. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. But there's been a lot of conversation about him not being very smart.
It's not just a smart.
But
you can
not,
be
not
dumb
being able to read,
Right.
not being able to comprehend. And
But
I
you don't
think,
need to read to have sex. You don't need to have
but you do need to be able to have some common sense to be able to communicate with somebody
Yeah, but
on some type of
integrity,
natural level.
You know grown
And-
men who still know you a baby.
True.
Girl,
But-
go home with
but
my
also-
non-reading self.
Yes, but also true. He's thinking like from a high school perspective.
I get what you're
Like if I'm a
saying.
15-year-old and I know when I was in high school there were 15-year-olds dating 20-year-olds or whatever, I'm thinking, you know what? This is not a problem for somebody who thinks like that. Like at 15, I didn't want to date somebody 20. Like that wasn't ever my thing. I never wanted to date someone that much older than me. Now, after I got older, if I dated somebody older, that's a little different. I can think for myself. I can make decisions for myself. I feel like someone's not trying to be my dad. You get me?
But what I'm saying is, at some point, he did know it was wrong because people are
definitely.
telling him.
Definitely.
And then he continued.
He
You know what I'm saying?
continued,
So
yeah.
let's say you might not have known what's the big deal. Everybody does it. My pops did it. My uncles did it. All right. But now when people are telling you, yo, this is wrong. And like you said, if you had
Correct.
lawyers telling you, yo, dude.
And that's now what you're finding out.
You know that people came
So
to you
now
like, my
I
man,
lost all-
you got to stop. Even if you didn't think this is wrong, this is their age. It's called statutory rape. Blah, blah, blah. You deal with people that's 18 and older. He's like, all right, cool. Because you had 18-year-old and older who were coming for him.
That's the thing.
But they
you
said it
still
too.
had people that was grown women
That he was sleeping with.
that knew he was having other women that still came to move in
Yeah.
the house.
30,
So,
because the girl was like
yeah,
30
she was
and this
30.
and this.
She might not
But
have been
she
like
said
30
though, but she had very low self-esteem.
Yeah, she said
the whole
that.
nine. He said he's not going to do. He said, and he still would deal with women. He would sleep with women that he would meet on the road, groupies, but he wouldn't have them at the house. He said somebody who had something going for her, like people in college and different things. You can't communicate with someone on that level because you still are. You have a mind of a 15-year-old, so you can't communicate with a woman who's in college or above college or doing something. You can't necessarily control her as easily. Like, oh, you're going to do this. Fool, no, I'm not. Like the girl, Sparkle. She said when she was at his home, she's
saw
hearing a
things
knocking,
like-
and she's like, "What is that knocking?" And then it was the wife who
wife.
eventually came out and said, "Can I come out and get something to eat?" She was like, "I wish I would be knocking in my own house to come and get some eat, so something to eat." So you know there were certain women who he wouldn't be able to do that with, and they choose unconsciously. That's what I'm saying. You're not that stupid. You
Yeah.
choose consciously.
But I think
you
was-
know what you're doing.
But subconsciously, I believe, and this is, I mean, maybe he wanted to watch the videos and all that type of stuff, but I believe these videos were initially started as a form to show that it was consensual. I think that's why in the videos he's having the money. He's thinking that on some level.
Yeah, but that's also
this
him
is
wanting to watch the video, watching
but-
him in action.
True, but also too, it shows
Watching
that
his own porn.
But in theory, it kind of shows that he didn't force anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
Not thinking that it's not a matter if you force them or not.
Yeah,
The fact that they're a
age,
child
yeah.
is the crime.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Is like I think
Like he don't even
I think
process that.
I think he's that dumb.
He don't process. Yep. He don't.
Yeah,
process.
I think he started these tape things and almost in some sick way to show that he was not forcing.
Yeah, but I
people.
also think the tape they may have come as him because a lot of people do that. I mean, they videotape what they're doing, and a lot of men have these ego. You're feeding your own ego because you see you having sex with this person, hurting them, or them screaming, making this noise. So now you're like, yeah, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. I'm hitting that. And so you're doing flipping it upside down. So you're watching that. So now when some men or women watch pornos, they're looking to see that. So now if you are that star, because when you if you ever watched pornos before, the women scream like they about to like take off in the rocket ship, and they go crazy. And they do all this stuff, right? You like, cop, really stop.
What a
it.
show, hey,
just
Mom.
come on and go. I'm just saying, but that's part of the thing because that's feeding the male's ego.
Yep.
And so a lot of, I mean, women have faked it.
Yes.
And I'm just sitting here.
Yes. Like,
Nigga,
good
go.
night.
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, calm down. If you're going to do all that, like, calm down. But I'm saying, so now you're watching,
Good night.
you're
Listen.
watching,
Say nothing.
you're watching you do that to somebody, and that's feeding your ego. You get, I know Joyce gets embarrassed when we talk like this,
Yes,
but
God.
it's
Yes,
feeding
God.
your ego. So that's why you do that. You know what I'm saying? You're doing all this extra noise. Not that the noise, you get what I'm saying. So a whole part of that is just that. So now you're feeding your ego, and now you got all these tapes. You have all these tapes, and this is all me. And
that's how you got caught.
And this is what I'm saying.
Now, but that's validated. When people came out, people probably thought he was crazy. People thought when people were saying these things, they probably thought not R. Kelly, but the tape after tape after tape after tape after tape after tape. And this is what I'm saying. It's so much more than just a regular, I want to sleep with little girls. You got to go into this person's mind. Yeah.
You know you can't read. You know you are not smart. You know that there's no way you can compete with someone. You can't even read these contracts. So when you probably have issues with other artists when you're on tour because they're realizing being closer that they are to you. This dude, you're a fool. Dude, you're stupid.
Andre
Dude,
said,
you're dumb.
You're hitting those Prince notes.
Dude, you're dumb. Dude, you're like you get what I'm saying? So like now you can't even rock with regular men businessmen. You don't know how to handle business. You're a clown, and they're telling you like, dude, you're a clown. So now you revert to what can I do? What can I have control over? I can have control over these little girls because they idolize me. They look up to me.
That's the key.
I'm a god to them, and they look up to me, and I am everything to them. Because to everybody else you talk to, they're looking at you like you are a stone cold fool because of your thought process. What are you saying? You can't read. So all these insecurities are in there. So what can I do? These girls like me, because again, I can have a conversation with them because now I'm talking to them and they're like, oh my God, because they're 14, they're 15, and they're with this superstar. They're with R. Kelly, and they're like, oh my God. So you already have that aspect. Then you have this older man wants me. Oh my God, he thinks I'm beautiful, and he's telling them whatever he needs to tell them, and he's having sex with them, and you're number one right now. So now you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Not just this older man, and he's attractive, and he's gorgeous, and he wants me, and R. Kelly picked me, and all these women are screaming his name, and he wants me. You have all these dynamics.
Yeah, so and somebody wrote the whole peeing on thing. But that's the thing. People are into like ridiculous things like that. It's called a golden shower. People are into stuff like that.
Some people say he could pee on me because I do that now for free. I mean, somebody commented, somebody in college was like, he could pee on me.
People who do that
because you got regular joke. Because if Kevin down the street peeing on you, I'd rather have R. Kelly pee.
That is disgusting.
In a mansion.
Yo, jokers.
But people don't even realize, like, when you spit on somebody, that's simple assault.
Nasty.
I wish somebody would pee on me.
That's nasty.
But people drink their own pee. Some people drink their...
On that note...
I'm just telling you.
On that note...
Thank you.
I know...
Thank you.
A person who drank their own pee. Their parents, when they were little, said, drink your own pee. Drink a little bit of your own pee.
They
it
said
stops
wash
you
your face in it, too.
Yeah, but it says it stops you from getting sick.
But you know they said that that's the most...
immune system.
No, but as Alicia knows, she knows this.
Baby pee,
do you know that your pee is it's sterile? Yep, because of where it's at in your bladder.
Are you going to drink your pee?
No, I'm not going to drink it. But listen, if I was on a boat and needed some water, I'm going to pee.
No,
I'd rather drink my pee than to drink the salt water because the salt water take me out first.
Yeah, I drink some salt water.
The salt water take you out.
Maybe I'll put some stevia in it.
I put a match under it and boil out the salt.
Oh, that'd be good. Oh, you gonna boil out the salt water?
Yeah, boil out the salt. Just have the because I'm not drinking.
All right, y'all.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
We gotta go because
we're getting crazy.
Tonight was an amazing show. You know what? I really do. I just want to say, Norm. A shout out to Norm. Norm, thank you so much for just allowing us to be a part of BKS1.
Thank you.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you for believing in Pam's World. We love and appreciate you. Tonight's show was amazing. I think this is one of the ones that'll go down in history for me. It really will, because in the beginning it started off with it may have been rough for y'all to hear, but I learned so much from it.
I just had an idea.
So it was dope.
I don't know if Pam's going to go with this, and I don't even know if I should say this on the air. I was going to say, everybody who comes on and supports us, you guys in the local area, take this video, not just share it, but you know how you can just crop a piece of it, like your favorite part of the video. Take your favorite part of the video, share it, and put the share challenge, Pam's World. And then those who win, the part that you clipped up and cut up and shared that got the most views, they can come in and be one of our guests.
That's dope. We down. We down.
Now we're not gonna fly you in. Like if you're
Yeah,
from
we ain't
like
flying.
California,
Yeah.
we love you, but
you gonna stay
you
home.
gotta talk to BK as well
Yes,
about that
come
fly
on.
you
Yes,
in.
yes.
So, but that'd be kind of hot.
That'll be dope. That's dope, JB. Listen, I just want you to know, you come up in here, we got to see you to my right. If you see the wrong thing, you going right back out that door. So don't come playing yourself.
Yeah.
Don't come playing yourself with nothing crazy, because you going right back
That'll be
outside the
fun.
door. Yeah. No, I'm saying, because you know how sometimes,
Oh, no,
yeah,
I know.
don't get funny.
Hallelujah.
All right. Thank you, God. Glory. All right, y'all. You know what? We're
We
going to
gotta
get
go.
out of your face. Thank you. Share,
We
share,
love
share.
you
As Pastor
guys.
said, make that clip too. Clip it
Share
up.
challenge.
Clip it
Hashtag
up.
Pam's World.
Come on, yes. And make sure that you tag us in it, all right? We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for always watching.
Thank
and then, too,
you.
I want y'all to know, please, if you want a great book to read, listen to the left of me. Dorothy Hayes has a book out. Yo, The Hidden Affair. The Hidden Affair. You got it? Okay. The Hidden Affair. You can get it at www.dorothydenise.com. I'm telling you. Say the part, because I don't want to get it wrong.
The Hidden Affair,
Come
the
on.
story of a former first lady determined to shatter the silence. It's on BarnesandNobles.com, Amazon.com, DorothyDenise.com. You can get that.
Yes.
And you guys gotta go out and get Y right now.
Right now.
Go to Pam's
Social
iTunes. Go watch the video, but also support and purchase her song on iTunes and share it. Let people know this song is fire. Tag people in the song. Tag every celebrity
Featuring
you know. Tag,
Breezy.
Yes,
It's
it's a
really
really
love
good
you,
song.
baby.
Excellent
And,
song.
and then to the right of me, JB on Spotify. Yes, you can definitely
Yes,
find her all
Simply
over
Joyce.
IGs, all social media. I don't want to say
yes,
outlets.
yes.
I say outlets.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I want to say social media outlets, and then to Simply Joyce. JB, please let them know exactly. Simply Joyce, please, before we get out of here.
Simply Joyce is kind of life coaching, and it's an ability
Yes.
to get your life in order, figure out where you need to start. It's about getting to the root cause of your issues, and it's about loving you.
Mhm.
It's about being you, and it's about being comfortable
Jesus.
with simply who you are.
Yes, she
And-
can help you.
Yes,
And
she
tapping
can.
into your greatness.
Yes,
Yes,
you have a
she
lot
can.
here. You have a
Yes, come
songwriter.
on.
Okay, you have a dancer, you have an entertainer, you have a life coach over here, life coach here, pastor. You got all these things. Book writer, Pam's book is coming out.
Come on, somebody, bless God.
Pam's book is coming out. I have my book. Joyce is going to do whatever else she is supposed to be doing.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
bless-
By June, by April 7th.
By April 7th. So we have
Yes.
a whole thing going on. So we're just grateful for you guys. Pam's going to end this.
All right,
with
y'all.
Why?
Listen, we love y'all. We out of here. Pam's World.
said with you. I put all you above in me. It was killing me to love on you. I put all this on my life. If I could, wouldn't do it twice. Not even for dollar signs. I don't play around with your kind. We've been through too much, but I don't speak on that. So much pain, but I don't trip on that. We knew it was over, but you got a kick out of seeing my tears on your shoulder. How? Look, why don't you leave? Don't you leave? Why don't you leave?
That's an option. Yes, guys. Thank you.